amazing game. I mean, maybe we should just have a quick look at that combination again, because it's well worth seeing.
Beautiful.
And after b5 here, Magnus sacks a piece on f6, opens up the black king, and all of Magnus's pieces. It was what Anna said earlier. Anna mentioned the thing that Anna, well, you learnt from Kasparov, Anna, about attacking pieces. This is a demonstration of that here, isn't it? So, and here they come. They just come straight in to the attack. And after rook g6, a really fantastic, that's just amazing combination. Very, very nice to watch that one. So, yeah, good stuff.
Amazing stuff by the world champion.
Hello and welcome everyone to what is going to be so exciting, the 2018 Pro Chess League. And it's a real honour and a privilege to have a fellow Ginger as a host. So hello Anna.
Hello Ginger GM, I'm happy to be here commentating on the Eastern Division of the Pro Chess League.
It's going to be great, yeah. And actually, well, I think the game's going to kick off quite soon, but what an exciting couple of hours we have ahead of us at the moment. I mean, I'm going to quickly, before the game starts, show you what me and Anna, who we're going to be commentating on. We are doing the Eastern Division, so if I bring up the world map very quickly now, everyone in orange there on the world map. So all those places in orange, and you might see that Oslo is included, with none other than Magnus Carlsen, we are going to be commentating on. And the teams that we're commentating on, as you can see, me and Anna can have a look at the teams here, and you can see we've got an all-Indian clash is going to start any minute now, and this is our division, so some real heavy hitters there, and two teams from Norway, Anna.
Two teams, you're right, and two Indian teams as well. Also, we see a Baltic battle, Estonia versus Riga Magicians. So it's a very interesting division. Kudos to the Oslo Trolls who qualified by fan vote. And actually half of our division has qualified in a very, very tough qualification tournament. The Armenia Eagles were the winners in that tournament, followed by the Estonia Horses and the Mumbai Movers. So very exciting, very competitive division we have. And as you have mentioned already, Magnus Carlsen will be playing today for the Norway Gnomes.
He will be. And if we have a look at the individual pairings, the actual board pairings, and we'll bring them up now, and you're right, Magnus Carlsen is indeed playing. And we can see here that match one is going to start any second now, the All-Indian Clash. Then we have the Baltic battle starting 10 minutes afterwards. Each match is staggered by 10 minutes. And then we have the Trolls. I love that name, Anna. The Oslo Trolls. That's a good name, isn't it?
I love it too. And the Norway Gnomes.
And the Norway Gnomes. And look at that, Magnus Carlsen playing. And I've heard some inside information about Magnus Carlsen. And apparently the rumour goes, and this is the fourth match, which is going to start in about half an hour from now. So apparently Magnus Carlsen is playing basketball today, and he might have to play his game on his telephone in the bus on the way back. But he's going to be watched by some people, and of course Charlie the chess cat also wants to join in the commentary now as well, Anna. so what do you think of that, Anna? It's going to be interesting. So
it is very exciting, and I didn't know that he was going to play basketball. You guys, if you follow the Tata Steel Chess Tournament, you know that Magnus is there. Also, Arian, Tari is playing. The two Norwegian stars will be playing today. They are using their rest day to compete in the Pro Chess League. As their captain tweeted, Jonathan Tisdale, Tata Steel Chess participants have an untraditional definition of rest day, the Norwegian participants of Tata Steel Chess. And yeah, it is really an untraditional definition of a rest day, at least for the two Norway Gnomes.
That's right, and it's typical, Anna, that it's like live TV. They say never work with animals or children, and as soon as we start, Charlie the chess cat has jumped up onto the table. My green screen has gone crazy, and he's going to try to attack my mouse. So that's kind of live broadcasting for you. But hello, Charlie. So everyone can say hello to Charlie. I don't know who Charlie is supporting, but can I ask you which team you're going to be going for in the whole of the competition, Anna? Do you have a favourite?
Oh, we talked about this yesterday. We previewed the Pro Chess League yesterday with Simon on my Twitch channel. And it's just so difficult to pick a team because there are so many great teams, strong teams with nice people. So I think I shouldn't just pick one team, but try to root for everyone and for fair games and the best chess they can possibly play, so that we can be just amazed by their powers. What do you think, Simon? Do you have a favorite?
Oh, I just brought up a wrong window there. Sorry about that. That was you can see I just brought up the personal correspondence between the team there. Oh my word! So typical Simon. So you just saw how much of a team goes behind the production. I'm still going to wake up a little bit.
I would have done the same, Simon.
Well, out of the whole competition, and I apologise for that, out of the whole competition, I'm rooting really for two teams. I'm rooting for the team from London, having a number of my good friends playing, but I think one of the, can we say sweethearts of the whole competition? One of the sweethearts was, the Puffins, Anna. The Puffins.
The Puffins.
And there you go, Anna. Yeah, the Puffins. Get the Puffins in there. So the Puffins are certainly the team from Iceland, are one of my favourite teams. They've got some great guys in it. And we'll try to bring up a video later on of them saying they're puffing magic. But
the games have begun. The first match between the two Indian teams, the Delhi Dynamites and the Mumbai Movers.
They have indeed. And if we go, I'll just have a reminder for everyone at home what the board pairings are before we dive into the action. And very quickly, this is what we're going to look at in a second. The match here is taking place, that board 2 really, but it's the board 1 clash. It's Suri versus Kunte, and we're going to go over to that game now, Anna. So straight into the action, and we're off.
By the way, the two Indian teams, the Delhi Dynamites fought very well in the playoffs last season. The Mumbai Movers had to qualify this year for this year's event, and they have a new player, the Mumbai Movers, none other than Vishy Anand, who is also at the Tata Steel Chess Tournament and decided that the rest day means rest day.
Yes.
So he's not playing today, but he might be playing perhaps already in the second round.
Yes, indeed. And we can see, okay, well, the game has started, and both of these guys, grandmasters from India, this is a key clash. Two grandmasters playing two of the highest seeds. And I believe the way it works, everyone in each team plays everyone else in the opposing team. So imagine, I think, if you're playing against Magnus Carlsen's team, no matter what board you are, even if you're 2100, you get a chance to play Magnus. But I believe it's board 1 versus board 1. So this game at the moment, Anna, is I think the top two players, or at least some of the top players in each team. So
definitely for today, they are the two top grandmasters of the two Indian teams. Apart from that, the Delhi Dynamites have Abhijit Gupta and Tanya Sachdev. And as I mentioned already, the Mumbai Movers will later on also line up Vishy Anand and Vidit. So two of India's best players.
And we've also been asked in the chat, we're going to follow the chat as much as we can. There's loads of action going on over at twitch.tv chess. And also, there is actually a very interesting now live feature going on Chess.com TV. And you'll see there's loads of banners below our broadcast, which you can also get more involved with in the match. So you can vote for your favourite team. So we're trying to keep an eye on the things that are going on there. So looking at the game, and it is a favourite of Bobby Fischer, this opening that we're seeing. It is the King's Indian Attack, Anna. Have you ever tried this one out?
Not really. It's not my style. Have you?
I haven't. I've played the black side of this many a time. It looks like a French defence structure from black. And we already see a very interesting position, because it's clear here that black is aiming for a queenside attack on the open C file there. On the other hand, white is building all of his forces over on the king side. So it looks like we do have what could be a race on the opposite sides of the boards going on here, Anna, in this position. And
yeah, absolutely.
So A4 just played. And what we'd do, because there's so many games going on, there's 4 games going on at once, I think to start with, I'm going to quickly just show you the current positions of each 4 games, so we get all the boards up. and so you can have a very quick dive in. And then in the chat, please let us know which game you particularly want to keep an eye on. So we're trying to go where you want to go. So this is the board 1 clash, and now let's hope I can get the next board up.
Just another piece of information, that even though both players are grandmasters, this is not actually board 1 versus board 1.
That's true.
The two teams are full of grandmasters. So this is board 1 versus board 4.
Yes, I've just realized.
Believe it or not, this is crazy. So the two teams are so strong that even their last board is a grandmaster. You can have a rating difference between the boards, but of course it means that just basically all their players are very strong.
Very strong players. And saying about the board 1 clash, with my mistake there, I've now actually brought up, which I think is the board 1 clash. So we can have a quick look at that now. Do you know anything about these two players, Anna?
That they are very strong and dangerous as all the Indian players.
They are very good, very, very underrated.
There's just so many new grandmasters in India. I think ever since Vishyanan became world champion, India's chess has been rising. Everybody has been inspired by Vishy, and he still inspires everyone. Like, he has just won the World Rapid Championship. So I think that's great inspiration. So we see so many grandmasters in India, including the youngest ones like Pragnananda and Nihal Sarin.
That's right. And we have Gupta, I know, is one of, I think he's one of Anand's seconds as well, has helped Anand on a number of times when he's been preparing for Magnus Carlsen, etc. I'm especially looking forward to the match when the Norway Gnomes are going to face off against Magnus's team, because we're going to see then Anand is going to play against Magnus Carlsen. So that's going to be a really interesting match, that one. And
I can't wait for that. So we have basically all the top players playing in the Pro Chess League. Just remember that the Pro Chess League is epic. It's just the second season, and it's becoming each year stronger and stronger. So Magnus Carlsen will play today, but all the other top players basically have a team as well. We mentioned Vishyanan, Fabiano Caruana, also Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. He is even the captain of his team, the Marseille Migrants. This year is going to be just amazingly strong. There is on an average 5 grandmasters per team and 2,700 grandmasters. So that's a lot.
It is. It's a major amount. And okay, just quickly looking at the other clashes going on here. So we're trying to bring up the other two boards. And wow, another grandmaster playing Anna. No surprise there. And this one is Babu versus Puranik. And my pronunciation is probably off there. I'll maybe leave the pronunciation to you, Anna, I feel. So
no, please, no.
No? Okay. My pronunciation
was perfect. Let's have a look at the position, because I think we are better at chess than pronouncing names.
Definitely. Okay. And we see we've made a lovely change of colour there as well on the board. The board has now gone a nice shade of blue. Woohoo! So
Pro Chess Blue.
Pro Chess Blue. And okay, so this is one looking at the ratings, and okay, you have a grandmaster playing off against an IM. And what's going on here in the game? I've just got to change a couple of settings. Of course, it's the first Pro Chess League. We need to do things on the fly here, so I'm just going to change a couple of settings, Anna, while you talk about maybe some of the other things going on, if that's okay.
Sure. So we see in this game between Lalit Babu and Abhimanyu Puranik that basically all the pieces are disappearing from the board. It's just move. Wait a second. I want to scroll down. Move 17, and there are no queens on the board already. I like the fact that the knight on e5 is pinned, so white is aiming to use this pin. Next move, he could play rook e1, putting more pressure on this knight, where black will have to either defend it, but f6 looks very ugly and weakening the e6 square, also blocking the bishop on g7. So f6, I don't think it's a good move, but probably rook e1, knight d3 would be an interesting follow-up with both rooks hanging in that position.
Yeah, very complex, that position there. I have to say, I like the Pro Chess League colours, Anna, don't you? They're quite funky.
I love the Pro Chess League colours, and you guys should use the hashtag #ProChess on every social media to communicate with us, and of course the chat on Chess.com, the chat on Twitch. We are trying to look at everything we can.
Definitely.
And then we have 8 pair of eyes, but we try.
That's right. And I'll bring up the last board. So then we have all the games undergo, and it's ready to rock and roll there. So the last board, if I can find the players, let's make sure I get the right one. It's not Swiss Power. Oh, we have other matches already starting now. All the games are rocking and rolling. So
Definitely.
there are. So what is the other Indian encounter? Let me just make sure I can find it while we go. So we have that one. And has it already ended even? Is it possible? So I'm just searching
no.
now. Okay, so who are the two
All four
players?
games are still going on in the Indian match.
Okay, and I'm just going to bring up as many games as I can. So while I do that, you can see some of the interesting handles of, the real names, the people who are playing. So this is the all Baltic clash. So I don't know who people are rooting for. And I'd like to hear people's opinions of who they're actually got. Which team do you want to see win? I bet there's lots of chess bra fans out there. There's got to be loads of chess bras everywhere. Everyone loves a chess bra. Do you love the chess bras, Anna?
Of course, who doesn't love the chess bras?
We all love
and they
the
have
chess
Hou
bras.
Yifan this year, so that's another extra point for the chess bras.
It is. And okay, eventually I found all the games. So this is the last board, I think, in the All Indian Clash. And for now, just until we get into the competition a bit more and all the teams start playing, I think we're going to concentrate on the All Indian Clash. But I think everyone really wants to know what Magnus Carlsen is going to be up to. So as soon as that starts, we'll dive over to see Magnus Carlsen as well. So now that all the games are up, let's have a little look and see what we think is going on in the game. So we have
there's a game that probably will decide this first round between the two Indian teams. That's between Abhijit Kunte and Vaibhav Suri.
Okay, so let's move over there.
That is board 2 of Delhi Dynamite, Vaibhav Suri playing against board 3 of the Mumbai Movers, Abhijit Kunte. And it seems that Kunte is in trouble.
It does indeed. Well, someone's in trouble. I have no idea who's in trouble here. He's a piece down, of course. I mean,
Yeah, so if he had enough attack, it would be cool. Some rook h7 and then attack the king on e7, but I don't even see a check. No. So you're just a piece down, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And black's this is the one where black's queenside attack was weighed off against white's kingside attack. And as Anna has pointed out, obviously clearly better at maths than me, Anna. You know, I was thinking, white's attack looks dangerous. I'm always a bit biased when the attack comes in. But in this position, it does look like the board 2 encounter, black is going to win it. And you can see above us, over there somewhere, that is going to be the live scores. So they're going to be updated as we get the scores coming in. But this first all-GN clash is going to the Dynamites by the looks of it. So the Delhi Dynamites are going to take a very important game there, Anna.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. But remember, guys, that everyone plays everyone. So this is only the first round. There are still plenty of games to play. Of course, 16 in total. Can I count? Yes, 16. I'm terrible at maths, but I know that if you make 8.5, you have won the match.
That's right. So that's the magic score we're looking for. As soon as one team above hits the magical 8.5 minute score mark, that means they've won the match. So that's the golden sort of score there. So I think, Anna, this one is going in favour of black. Shall we have a look at the next board?
Definitely. Let's see if they can compensate on other boards. This is a team competition, so just because one player is losing, it doesn't mean that they have to lose the match. Probably the other players can make up for it.
That's right. So we'll just go down as they're listed, and we're now going to see this one with Babu with the white pieces against Prunanik, and we have a typical position where black has the two bishops, and the bishops generally work quite well with the rooks, but white has quite a good hold on the centre of the board here. The bishop is guarding that pawn, and at the moment that pawn looks quite a decent pawn, but maybe most importantly, white has the open file. And the open file in any situation is obviously a key thing. Probably pretty balanced still here though, Anna, I would say. We're going to, there's a long way to go. No, we can't, maybe someone slightly better, maybe white, but nothing much has gone on here, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with you that it's very complicated, but it certainly doesn't look like there would be a decisive advantage in anyone's favor. So this, we might say that it could be a draw, or if I had to pick someone, I would probably pick black because of the pair of bishops. Right. But it might just simplify and it won't be enough to have the pair of bishops. Well, what about the other two boards? Is there any more complex position where they might score?
Okay, so we're now going to go to Raja versus Gupta. And if we remember, it looks like the Delhi Dynamites are going to go 1 point ahead on the first game we looked at. This one, the third one, they could really do the Mumbai Movers. I wonder if they do. I wonder if they have a little dance, Anna. Do you think they have a little moving dance, the Mumbai Movers? Maybe.
I would love to see that. I think we should request the video from the Mumbai Movers.
We should do. We want to see them dance.
Also, the Delhi Dynamites are great on social media. I love their Twitter and Facebook. I'm following them, and they introduce their players one by one. So great stuff by the teams doing more social media. They do their own streams, many of the teams. That's just all cool stuff. And thanks to Greg Shahadi and Chess.com for bringing the Pro Chess League once again to us chess fans.
Certainly. I mean, we're saying the Mumbai Movers should do a dance. I hope the Delhi Dynamites don't blow something up. That wouldn't be very good, unless it's on the chessboard. And in this position, I would say that black has quite a pleasant position here. I mean, if that white knight on d3 could ever get to d5, black would be positionally lost there. But at the moment, that knight can never really get to that square easily, and black has nice control of the d file. It might not be that bad for white. It's still a very unbalanced position. I just like the control of this file, but maybe white hasn't really got any weaknesses. On the other hand, black's pawns are very split. This is what we call isolated pawns. They can't be guarded by any other pawns. They're at the side of the board, so later on those could be a bit weak. So still a very tough game, and very unclear what the result's going to be in this one. And shall we move to the last board now, Anna?
Yeah, definitely. And let's see if the Mumbai Movers can equal the score in the first round against the Delhi Dynamite.
So the last board here, and this is an interesting one because white has clearly sacrificed a pawn somewhere along the way. Has white got enough compensation for the pawn? My initial thought here would be no. And this is really a game that the Mumbai Movers need to win, isn't it, Anna? If we look, you know, on the black side of this, the Mumbai Movers, we have a Grandmaster playing someone much lower rated. So this looks quite good for black, I'd say, Anna?
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think will be the end result now after seeing all 4 games?
I think it's very close. I'm probably going to pick the Delhi Dynamites because... I mean, this game, okay, it's still very early days. I'm also very concerned about white's time. They've only played 13 moves, and white is taking about a minute a move, which is quite slow, isn't it, for rapid chess, which we're getting into here.
Certainly.
So
the time control, guys, is 15 minutes plus 2 seconds, 2-second increment per each move. And as Simon said, only 13 moves, and he has used almost all his time already. Only 4 minutes left.
That's right. And okay, knight f5 has just been played where white is trying to prove some compensation, but it doesn't really seem... I expect black is going to take this knight off and then castle kingside. If you can see that, he has captured that knight. Knight was too strong to survive, and it's white who has to prove the compensation. Maybe with a move like f4 at the right moment, you can bring the bishop on c3 into the game, but that's a long way off. And let's go back to that game where it looked like it was all over, and this was a crazy game, and now, well,
it's over.
It is
over. Black has won. It was in the end a rook and a pair of bishops versus the queen, plus the d pawn promoting, so it was time to resign for white, unfortunately for the Mumbai Movers.
Yes, that's right. So the Delhi Dynamites, and the score will be updated very shortly, take the lead with that first win. And moving over to the next game we're looking at, and this was where black had the 2 bishops and Anna preferred black's position. And it does now seem, it's weird because before, if you can remember, white had the d pawn, and now black's got Derek coming down the board, Anna. What happened?
How did that happen?
Do you reckon black cheated and quickly sort of swap the pawns about
Probably,
somehow?
like when you play blitz on a physical board and you can just try to grab the opponent's pawn and place your pawn there. Never done that, but I have seen some of the hustlers in the parks trying to do things like that. So
sounds like you got some experience with that, Anna.
Really.
No, you haven't got experience of that. Sound like that? You're saying that from a position of experience, no? So, have you ever done any park hustling, Anna? I think you're too
like
nice.
after moving the king and believing I can still castle.
Well, yeah, taking anyone on for money. Have you ever done that in chess yourself? Have you ever played anyone
Oh,
for
you mean
money?
hustling in
Hustling,
a park?
yeah.
No.
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 Okay.
Have you?
A long time ago. So,
Oh,
a
we
long
should talk
time
about
ago.
that later on.
I think so. So, okay, so knight to a4 being played, and it does look like this is probably going to be good news for the Mumbai movers.
Yep.
It looks very
Puranic
good.
might equal the score. This d pawn is very strong, and I love the bishop. So in this position, bishop e3, the rook has to leave. Later, you can push d2 as well. I think this is a good advantage, probably already a winning advantage for black, which would equal the score. And the other two boards between the Indian teams.
Okay, so we saw this one where I slightly preferred black, and black still has this awesome sort of hold on the d file, and white may be getting in a position where it's quite hard to move, because the issue is here, if white moves the knight at some point, you're going to drop your rook, or rook is coming into d2 with check. So on the surface of this, it's white who is certainly in the worst position here, Anna, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
So, okay.
So that changes our final conclusion of the match, because
It does.
now suddenly, well, no, actually, if Gupta wins, it's still a win for the Dynamites. Depends on the fourth board if it could be a tie.
So let's have a look. So let's go to the fourth board now, and we can see here that it's two bishops against two knights, but black has got the extra pawn. I was kind of liking black, but maybe I was jumping the gun there. I'm not sure. I mean, bishops are bishops, Anna. Do you like your bishops?
I do. I like a good knight outpost, but if there's a pair of bishops or a very strong bishop, I can't resist either.
I thought you were going to say you liked a good night out. As well. Do you like a good night out as well?
Don't say that.
Okay.
Don't say that. People might think that we went to the karaoke at some point of our life.
No, of course not. We can't let that rumor go.
Never done that.
Never. So yeah, we have rook d8 being played, and this could, as Anna says, be a key encounter. c5. Wow. What is that? What is that move?
I'm trying to digest it. So if d takes c5...
Let's have a look. So we're going to analyze. When the board changes color, it means we're analyzing. So d takes c5, and now I'm assuming white will either check or swap off into an ending. Something where the bishops could really actually play an important role. Let's just say white exchanges everything here, and then maybe just takes on e5. Yes, white is a pawn down, but two bishops and a rook. Very good coordination. There's lots of open lines, so this could work out very, very well for white. But what about...
I don't understand this c5 move at all. I mean, you push c5 and king b1 afterwards.
Yeah, queen takes c5 and now king b1. And I just have to change the board back. King b1. So... yeah, what was that? What was the idea of that one? White's lost another pawn.
I don't understand it. I mean, it's too deep to understand.
It is. I mean, is the idea to go bishop b4? But I don't really like taking that pawn with my bishop, because I'm going to walk into a pin there.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't think that this went in the right direction. So probably it could be a 2-2 between the Indian teams with no draws.
Yes. Unless there's an f4 here, but does f4 even do anything? I don't believe this. I don't believe this is good enough. Black can even play knight to d5 on the next move. This could be very good. Something like f4. If you try this, knight d5. Let's get rid of one of those bishops, and I think the higher rated player will win this one, Anna.
Sorry, it's just the chat is really cool today. Shout out to everyone on Chess.com, and I'm also reading the chat on Twitch. Keep up the great comments, guys.
Good stuff. Yeah, and when we do get a chance, we'll try and look at the comments. I know normally Chess.com give away free diamond membership to the people who are nicest in the chat. So do remember, if you get involved with the chat, you can win some diamond membership. Do you think this is the first time there's ever been two redheads commentating on?
Definitely, I think it's the first time in history, like in history of commentary, sports commentary in general.
Yes, I think it might well be. And what on earth's happened here? Sorry, Anna. I'm just I breathed for a second, and all the pieces
What?
came off. What happened? Okay, let's just go through that again. I just want to see. So Bishop B4 was played. The Queen moved, and now White does walk into this pin. I don't like this. I mean, that is a nasty pin. Black says,
Yeah.
"Okay, I'll win your queen." Black does
So he
win the queen.
wanted to he wanted to give up the queen on purpose. I mean, I can't believe he didn't see that there would be a trouble on the d file.
Well, look at the time. Look at the time situation. This is maybe why
Wow.
things are going very wrong here. White has left himself with no time whatsoever in this position, and Black is just going to win this one. Black's a piece up. The knights work extremely well with the queen, coordinate but particularly well with that piece. So Black's going to win this one. Let's dive back to the other two boards, which are still going on. And
Yeah, so it was already 2-0 for the Dynamites because Abhijit Gupta won his game against Harshit Raja. And that means that the Mumbai Movers have to win the remaining 2 games.
okay, so this is really important now. Black needs to win this position here in order not to lose the first round of their competition here. And it looks like Black is 2 pawns up. Black is 2 pawns up. But can White generate any threats against the Black King? I don't think so, Anna, because the Black Rook does a great job of stopping the White King coming up the board. I mean, if White... Oh, I say that, and now it can come up, because... I mean, one idea I'd love to play, Anna, is something like Knight check, and then Knight G5. Is there any naughtiness happening here?
Amazing that you are seeing there.
I don't know. I think I'm probably just seeing things, probably, because Black's King can probably come up and then play H6. Probably safe.
Yes, and then a check on b3 and king g4.
Yes, yeah, something like that. And if White is not going to create some nasty mating net around the Black King, Black is just going to win with all this extra material. Now, if King H4, Bishop F2 is checkmate there. So this must be winning for the Mumbai Movers, Anna.
Certainly, and the last remaining board, that's also a win for the Mumbai Movers. I believe it's queen and 2 knights against 2 rooks. Pretty hopeless. So this is going to be a 2-2 with no draws between the 2 Indian teams. That's fighting spirit. We love that.
Certainly. And the end of the game, which we saw around here just very quickly, if you're wondering how Black broke through, and this was a very important one for for the Dynamites to win as well. In the end, Black just took a pawn and now came back, and c4 is going to come at the right moment because there's no pawn in the way. And, well, in actual fact, a queen is even better than a pawn. So Black won the queen there. So
this was 2-2 for the first round. But you know what we need to do right now, Simon?
what do we need to do, Anna? What do we need to do? Tell me.
The man himself is here.
Oh.
Mr. Magnus Carlsen has just started his game for the Norway Gnomes.
Let's go and have a
2018
look.
Norway Gnomes, Magnus Carlsen at the Tata Steel Chess Tournament, using his rest day to compete in his favorite team event, which is the Pro Chess League.
And he's forgotten how to play chess, Anna, because he's played A6 and move 2. He's forgotten. I think he's playing too many world title players. Tata Steel has ruined his brain. This is the kind of thing you don't show to your pupils, you know. Often you say, you know, if you want to get better, look at the games of the world champion. And the world champion plays A6 on move 2. Anna, what do you think of that one? Is it okay?
Well, probably he's still on the basketball pitch and this is just a finger slip.
It could be. I mean, we did hear some information that Magnus on his day off at Tata Steel was playing basketball, and he basically might be playing this game on the bus back on his mobile phone. But I don't know. That might just be a myth. I'm not sure I truly believe that. And very weird opening. And Magnus has now just developed his A4.
Bishop F5.
Yeah, strange stuff, yeah.
Just to mention that this match for the Russian team is very important because last year the Volga Stormbringers, or as they were called last year, the Gorky Stormbringers, they lost in the quarterfinals against the Norway Gnomes. So they were kicked out of the playoffs because of Magnus's team. I think that's a good reason for them to be super motivated today and try to beat them.
Certainly, and you know, I always have the opinion that any Russian players, probably from my education as a chess player, but any Russian player is underrated. That's just what I assume. Because they all play in Moscow, they've all trained very well, much better than English people train. They go to chess schools, and I always think, when you're playing a Russian, I'm always a little bit more scared because they're very good technical players.
Me too.
Okay, well, we have now what looks like a pretty sensible position, Anna, I'd say, in this game between the two players. It looks actually a bit like if people know the Tarish opening, yet the major difference here is white has these two pieces on d2 and c1, and these two pieces to me are lacking the proper squares. Normally in this type of structure, this knight would be on c3 where it can attack the center a lot easier, and the bishop will be somewhere like f4. So I would say this position is, the opening has probably been a success for Magnus. So his a6 has worked very well.
This is incredible. You push a6 on move 2, and then you push h6 as well, and then you are better after the opening, or at least you are very comfortable in just 9 moves.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's quite an interesting idea. I mean, one of the reasons I think Magnus is such a great world champion is because he does play weird stuff in the opening. And the idea, clearly, if we just go back to his a6 move, this move on move 2, I think it's clearly to wait until white plays c4, and then you can capture on c4, and you get a queen's gambit accepted. This is a certain opening where the pawn on a6 is very useful because black can play the move b5, and then you get this nice pawn chain over on the queen side. So it's not just a stupid move, it actually has some logic to it. But we've updated the position now. This is now the current position that's happening, with Magnus just playing bishop to e4 here, Anna. So
this is just amazing stuff by the world champion. And I'm just checking the Twitter sphere as well, that the Norway Gnomes, I guess Magnus Carlsen and Arian Tari, were about to not arrive in time for the game. So they only had 2 minutes left until they would be, I guess, losing their first game by default if they did not appear.
So what's happened then? Do we have a whole team?
Basketball. Now they are playing on a computer, so they made it back to the hotel, but they were very close to miss the match, the first game.
But they're all there. All the gnomes are there playing now. Is that correct?
Yeah, but probably they didn't have time to change their basketball clothes. So imagine.
Oof. Bit smelly. Bit smelly. Like a normal chess tournament hall, should I say.
Definitely. Friendly atmosphere. Inspiring.
There was a rumor that, I don't know if it's true, but ex-world champion Anatoly Karpov, when he was at the height of his game, he only washed his hair when he lost a game. Someone told me that. So he would never wash his hair until he lost a game. And being world champion is probably once every 20 years. No, that's an exaggeration, but that's something I heard. I'm not sure if it's entirely true, but it's funny how little superstitions can affect chess players, and the way they do things.
Certainly. Simon, the chat is asking if you have a bird. I don't have one. Is there chirping in the background?
There might be. I've got a nice window sort of by me.
Charlie, the cat, is also.
He might be hunting. I'll shut the window.
Birds. Shout out to everyone in the chat on Chess.com, and also special shout out to Beneficial. We love the Perpetual Chess podcast, and you should listen to the last episode of the Perpetual Chess podcast. It's Greg Shahadi talking about the Pro Chess League. So if you want to know insights to the Pro Chess League, this great event, what are the new improvements and what goes on behind the scene, you should definitely listen to the last episode of Perpetual Chess with Greg Shahadi.
Have you been on? I mean, Perpetual Chess, a great podcast.
Yeah, I was, and I think you too.
Okay.
And I think all the hosts were basically a guest. So, yeah, in the interview, the two were actually talking about the hosts as well. We were mentioned, Simon. And basically, we were all featured already on the Perpetual Chess podcast. But we want to be back, so
definitely.
We hope to be back.
Definitely. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great having these podcasts, and this is a kind of the new generation of chess, everything we can do online with computers now. And, when would we ever have a tournament like this, like 20 years ago? It would not be possible. So it's good. It's good fun, and opens up the world to many more chess features. Rook c8 being played in the game. by Magnus. And I have to say, at the moment, I would evaluate this position as being okay for white. I mean, I don't necessarily think white's worse. I did say earlier I didn't like the positioning of white's knight and bishop, but somehow white has managed to get his knight to a very lovely square there on d4, and the bishop on b2 has gained a very nice diagonal. It was Boris Spassky who talked about this pawn structure. Now, one little bit of advice I give to everyone is when you're trying to learn an opening or anything, the most important thing is to understand the middle game pawn structure, and know what plans you're going to have. And this is what we call an isolated pawn structure. The pawn on d5 is isolated, and Boris Spassky, who played Fischer for the World Championships, said it's not the pawn which is the problem for black in this position, it's the square in front of it. And you can see,
so true.
Yeah, and you can see here, Anna, that knight there is cemented to that square, isn't it? It's not going to get budged by any pawn. So a lovely knight for white there. So yeah,
I agree with you. I like white's position. It's comfortable, but he's playing against Magnus Carlsen, so
Yeah.
Ilya Dudukin doesn't have an easy task to face the world champion in the first round. But I believe they are all just they are very happy, of course, that they have the opportunity to play against Magnus and all the other top players. And this is one excellent feature of the Pro Chess League, that it's not just board one against board one, but everyone plays everyone. So the board 4 player is as important as board 1, and they play against the big names, the big guns. That's just, I think, one of the features I like the most about the Pro Chess League.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, it's great. I mean, I'd love to have a chance to play Magnus in any situation nowadays. But as commentators, we have to enjoy watching him instead, and keeping an eye on the game. I mean, it's Magnus exchanging off pieces. And again, another rule when you have the isolated pawn, this pawn I've highlighted is the isolated pawn, is generally you want to keep pieces on the board, because in an ending, this position should favour the person playing against the pawn, white. That's a rule of thumb, but then if you're playing Magnus Carlsen, it doesn't always count. The endings are a bit different then, aren't they? I mean, getting into an ending with Magnus is another story entirely, Anna. So
yeah, we see that each and every time. Completely boring looking endgames just turn into a victory for Magnus, because he has just this fighting spirit that he would try, even if he has 1% chance of winning, he would try.
That's right. And I think his team is certainly relying on him to get a victory in most of the games, if they want to progress and do as well as they did last year. Now, just a reminder, while we keep an eye on Magnus's game, I think we'll stick with this one because it's Magnus Carlsen, and we love Magnus. Everyone loves the world champ. But me and Anna, as you can see, my finger is going to the Eastern Division, and today is a whole day of chess. So even when we finish commentating on the Eastern Division here, and I'll show you that very quickly on the world map, is all the places in orange. We're going to move across the world, and there's going to be other commentators coming on straight on afterwards. So it's a day of very exciting chess to watch. And the prizes, Anna, I've also got a list of the prizes which I'll bring up now, because this is what the players are actually fighting for. They're fighting for these prizes, Anna, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good prize list there, I think. Yeah, so not bad at all. I love
that there's so much funding for the Pro Chess League, and it definitely attracts all the super strong grandmasters and every chess fan. Whether you're a player or a fan watching the event, this is where you should be today on Thursday. Normally it will be on Wednesdays, but since the Tata Steel Chess Tournament is going on today, it's on Thursday. All the other weeks, normally it's a Wednesday, and there will be Super Saturdays that we will talk about later.
Certainly. So there's a serious amount of money that all players are going for there, and you can see there's lots of special prizes, which is great. And going back to the game, what I found interesting here is we had this position, we have multiple exchanges, but one exchange I find very interesting here is that Magnus now gets rid of this knight, and it was a very nice knight, and Magnus's bishop is not very good on b6, and he intends now to play this position with the knight and queen, which famously coordinate excellently together, versus the bishop and queen. But that bishop is fantastic, Anna, as well. I mean, that is a beast of a piece. So
It is. We love the d4 square for any piece, especially a knight or a bishop or even the queen. Imagine a queen bishop battery with the queen on d4 and the bishop on b2, let's say.
do you think Magnus is worse here? Can I like stir things? Is there an upset going on? Maybe is there possibly?
It
I,
looks like he could be slightly worse. I don't think he's any close to
no,
losing this
no.
game, but I wouldn't say that Black has good chances of winning. But it's Magnus Carlsen,
Yeah.
so we will see magic on the board. I'm pretty sure that this is not the end of the game. He's very good with his time management. 12.5 minutes versus
Ooh.
7.
I wanted to
So
play.
there will be time trouble for sure.
Sorry, Anna. I was going to say I want to play h4 there because one move I'm scared about is Magnus playing knight
Harry!
g5, and that's why I wanted to play h4 because this
That's
move.
why you should move Harry.
Yeah, I mean that's why in the last position I was going to say you should play h5 because the one threat Magnus has is knight here followed by queen here, knight f3, queen takes h2, checkmate. It's never a mistake to push Harry, is it, Anna? You should push Harry in all positions. Harry the h pawn, always.
The first moment you can, just push Harry.
That's
On
right.
move 1,
Move
h4.
one. Move one. That's right. If you want to become a
That
grandmaster.
prevents knight g5 in the future.
But now, I would say things have changed somewhat. Now that Black's got the queen
Definitely.
in, it looks a bit dangerous now for.
Yeah,
for
and
white.
white had to play queen e2 to prevent knight f3, but that means that now it is white who is passive. Black has taken the initiative. There's no direct way to take advantage of the situation, but it's very unpleasant already, and Magnus has twice the time on his clock, so
That's right.
unpleasant.
And well, there we see it. You know, Magnus obviously is listening to our commentary while he's playing, and
Definitely.
it's never a mistake to push Harry. And Magnus goes, "Oh yeah, let's push Harry." And here comes Harry. Here he comes, Harry the H pawn, and I'm feeling now that I'm liking Magnus's position. White needed, if we just go back to a key moment, rather than playing after knight e4, queen b2, which is a mistake. White needed to have played something like h4 to stop the knight coming there, and then White can continue with queen b2 or maybe bring the queen over here, somewhere on the king side. But now it is certainly after h5 Magnus who has all the pressure. And one plan I think he'd be considering playing here, Anna, is something like h4 and then queen to f5, when the queen may try to sneak around the back and Harry the h pawn could close the net on h3. And it's the white king which is seriously under pressure there, Anna.
I just think that Magnus will win this game. Suddenly, the tables turn, and what we thought was a slightly worse position for him, he has now all the chances in the world to win this. This is what he does all the time.
He does, yeah. He's pretty good, isn't he? He's not a bad player. He's pretty good. So you know.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Pretty decent player. Shout out to everyone on Twitch. We are reading the chat and also on Chess.com. Guys, you should know that we are following your comments as much as we can.
Certainly, yeah, and we're keeping an eye on everything as we're commentating today. Now, while we watch Magnus, and I think it's always nice to see how Magnus increases the pressure in these positions, so we will stick with Magnus for this game. While we do that, other players playing in the Pro Chess League, there's such a, should we say, awesome list of players. And if you want to check out the players and the information when other games are going to be, we now have a defined website. I know last year the Pro Chess League, it was in the first year of development and they didn't have a website, but they do listen to you. You know, the spectators out there every year, Chess.com and, you know, Greg and everyone else is trying to improve this. So if you have any suggestions, they will listen to you, and they have now got a dedicated website which is simply prochessleague.com. So if you want to go and check out,
it's such a useful website. You guys should check it out. As Simon mentioned, you can find every information on the website, and it's so much easier this year to follow the team. So basically what Greg and the Chess.com team did was to survey you guys last year what you liked and what you did not like, and they just improved everything that you guys disliked, that like what you thought that could be improved. So this is the improved version of the Pro Chess League. It was great last year. How will it be this year? Amazing.
well, they didn't get rid of me, but apart from that, they improved everything. But like, yeah,
Go on, Simon.
I'm joking, but no, it's you know, it's a great event. And looking at the scores also above, just as things are developing, Very tight games and scoreline going on. I have to say, Anna, for this league, one team. I mean, it's a couple of teams which go through. Is that correct? I mean, it's 4 teams, isn't it, to the next round? And
Yeah.
I think one of the outside teams, personally, will be the Armenian Eagles. Again,
You think so?
I think so. I think playing against the Armenian players in chess in Armenia is like football in England, or
Yeah.
American football in America. Aronian, who is from Armenia, is literally the biggest superstar in Armenia. In England, if you had Mickey Adams or Nigel Short walk around London, no one would notice them at all. And if Nigel walked into a bar and said, "I'm Nigel Short, give me a beer," which I'm sure he's done before, everyone would be like, "Who the hell are you? I don't know who you are." But if Aronian walked into a bar in Armenia and said, "I'm Aronian, give me a beer," they'd be like, "Yes, your Majesty, yes, I'll give you a beer." So the chess culture in Armenia is phenomenal. And
Yeah, that is so true.
So I think they're going to be an outside bet somehow. And we have an ending now here, Anna. And look at this.
And Magnus will squeeze it. I think he's gonna win it. It's just that
Yeah.
he got what he wanted. He has some pressure on white already because this pawn chain. It's not so easy to activate the white king. I see that as the main problem. If you move the king away from g1, there will be knight f3, picking up the h2 pawn.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And we've got to ask ourselves, what targets does white have to attack? Because when you've got a bishop on a dark square, you want your opponent's pawns in the ending to be on a dark square. But they're not on dark squares, they're all on light squares. So the bishop can't really attack any pawns. It can't attack the weak pawns over here. Well, they're not weak, so it can't do anything. Interesting move there from white. White has played h4, trying to eliminate that weakness. That seems like a very clever idea, actually.
So it's a pawn sacrifice, and next move he wants to push f4, or soon in the future he would love to attack that knight and pick up the pawn on h3.
Yes.
It looks a bit suspicious.
It looks a little bit suspicious, but I can understand why white did it, because he was either going to lose the pawn on h2 or try to go active. And I think in endings, as in most areas of chess, the stronger players, and this is something that amateur players fail to do by looking at their games, they go active. Even if it costs them a pawn, stronger players will always try to get as active position as they can, even at the cost of material. But look at that king come in. Look at it come. And this is typical Magnus, isn't it, Anna? Typical Magnus.
I think he's winning already. Just dominating, very active king.
But is his knight in trouble? The knight... Okay, it can always come to h2 and g4, can't it? It should be okay.
Yeah, and you can't really attack it, so I think he is good.
Positionally speaking, black has domination. The king, very active piece in the ending, and at some point that king might come over and start munching. The Pac-Man king, just like in Pac-Man. You remember that game? Are you too young, Anna, for Pac-Man? You too young? Did you ever play Pac-Man?
I know the Pac-Man, of course. I'm not too young.
That's right. And look, that king is coming in. It's coming in. But there's no ghost to chase it this time. So that king could be a winner, I feel, I agree. Magnus is rolling here, isn't he? Totally rolling.
Yeah, and he can also push d4, and after the trade of pawns, knight takes d4, the b3 pawn will drop. So I think he's just waiting for the right moment to push d4. He wanted to make sure the g7 pawn would not be hanging after knight takes d4, bishop c3, I guess.
Yes. It looks very good for Magnus here. Sorry, earlier on we were mentioning other players, Anna. So could you want to? I mean, I know, for example, John Bartholomew. A lot of people are fans of him. He's playing. The Chess Bras, Eric Hansen, they're playing. But we've got big names as well, haven't we, Anna, who are playing? So some of the big names include Fabiano. Is that right? And other names. Yeah,
definitely. A new team is the Chengdu Pandas, led by Yu Yangyi, and I see that Bobby Hess is with us here in the chat. Shout out to Robert Hess. He will be commentating later on as well, and he's saying that he thinks that with today's lineups, he believes that the Chengdu Pandas are the strongest team today.
Yes, quite possibly. I mean, they're very strong. Again, another team where I think their elos don't always reflect their strength. From my experience, the Chinese players are probably the biggest the biggest improving nation in the world at chess, aren't they? I mean, 20 years ago there was not really, there was hardly any, if any, Chinese grandmasters, and now they're just coming out of everywhere. So they're going to be a very strong team in this, definitely.
Yeah, and they are facing the Las Vegas Desert Reds today, where Lenier Dominguez is playing on top board, former World Blitz champion, so tough opponent. Basically, every division has so many strong teams, it's difficult to pick up just one team. And just because we see now Magnus's game, and of course he's the world champion, it doesn't mean that the Norway Gnomes are the clear favorite. There's a rating cap of 2,500, so they cannot just line up the Olympic team of Norway. They need to have the rating average below 2,500. Magnus has won his game.
He has. He's won his game, and
and his team.
Typical Magnus fashion, though, wasn't it, Anna?
Magnus.
He just ground away, and I mean, I don't know if the position was so clear, but I think the key mistake, if we just go back in Magnus's game, as we said, there is a rule, and the rule is in chess: always push your H pawn. And
Harry.
That's right. And in this position, another thing that a lot of players don't do, they don't consider their opponent's moves as much as they should do. They only look at their own plans. And here, knight g5 is a major threat, and white should have played something like h4 to stop that. But in the actual game, we saw queen b2, and after the knight and queen start coordinating, Magnus takes complete control. So quite a nice finish to that game, Anna, I think. Very nice finish.
Definitely. Arian Tari is still playing for the Norway Gnomes against Mikhail Gorozhanin.
Okay, let's go straight over there. So Arian Tari is the current junior world champion. And
definitely. Norway has now 2 world champions, and the 2 are playing in Vaikanze. They've just finished the basketball match, and now here they are fighting for the Norway Gnomes, and that is dedication. That is dedication.
It is, yeah. It's good. And Vaikanze, they call the Wimbledon of chess, but they're on their day off. They're supporting their teammates, and we see here Arian Tari with the black pieces. And what do we think about this position? It's kind of like a lot of things getting swapped off, Anna. Black has double pawns, but double pawns is not always a bad thing because it can allow you more open lines. And I think the main idea is black's
the b file in this case, and the b2 pawn could be a target.
That's right.
And the a4 pawn right now, so white has to be protecting the queenside pawns.
I'm guessing if you play, you're going to have to play b3 maybe at some moment. Did he play b3 now? I think he may have played b3.
What happens if later rook b8 comes? Like, you will have to play rook b1.
Have to play rook b1 to defend.
I just would like to double rooks on the b file, but probably you can do the same.
Probably I can defend like this. I mean, one thing I love to do here, Anna, if I was white, it's kind of impossible, but if I could magically remove a pair of minor pieces, and this is often what players think about and they try to get the maneuvers to work. If I could swap off my bishop on f1 for your knight on d7, impossible to do, but
that would be a dream position.
It would
good
be.
Knight versus bad bishop.
Ooh, it'd be lovely, but there's no way to do that here. I mean, I think white's doing okay, to be honest. I don't think white's in real trouble, and it's actually occurred now the way you said, Anna. We have this doubling on the b file. So
and there's no bishop takes a4 because the knight from d3 is defending the rook on b2.
Yeah. And is black going to try to play something like e5, or not anymore, because white has kept a clamp on that square, but that does now weaken the e4 square. I mean, one way we could see something occur, which I just mentioned, let's say knight to f6, looks like a normal move, trying to bring the knight into this square. Well, bishop g2, and now I'm assuming a big mistake here would be knight to e4. It might not be, but because now we could get our kind of position where, for example, this knight on e5 is a very, very nice piece. So that's the kind of thing as white I'd probably be very happy if it occurs on the board. But I think this is about equal, this position. I mean, if anyone, I might even take white. White's potentially got a c4 break at the right moment, and I'm not sure where black's pawn break is going to come from. I always like having the pawn breaks in the position. So I don't know. C4 looks very tempting, Anna, don't you think?
I like the idea, and also like now the e6 pawn is a target, so that's why he played rook e1. Potentially he wants to like play. It's not coming right now, but he could double rooks on the e file in the right moment. He has to pay attention to the c3 pawn, so it's very complex. But with e6 pawn being a backward pawn, the a6 pawn is a potential target. And what you have said, the c4 pawn push is in the air. So there's quite a good chance for white here to play for a win.
Totally agree. I mean, and also if we look at what black can play, black can never really move the knight on d7, because if black, well, maybe black can try this knight f6 move, and then I will go bishop g2. But at some point, the white knight will be freed up then to come into some lovely squares. But normally, you know, the way to evaluate such a position is like who's got the long-term plan. And normally, if they're just shuffling about, it's the person with the pawn break. And black doesn't have any pawn breaks really. They're all covered. But white, maybe even now. What about c4 now? Is it time to play for a win with c4? I mean, this would be a move I'd be very tempted to play. I don't know if it's correct, because black could take on c4 and maybe play a move like bishop to e4, and black suddenly activates the bishop and the rook here. So that could be premature to play that straight away. You have to be a little bit careful in this position playing your breaks. So,
but it's certainly the idea. So c4 or sometimes even b4, depending on the position, even though it looks like you don't want to touch those doubled pawns, but it depends on the moment. Like if you open the c file and the e6 pawn will be very weak, that's also an idea.
That's right.
Shout out to everyone once again on the Chess.com chat. Ben Feingold has just joined us. Your good friend Ben is here with us.
Hi,
He's
Ben.
going to be commentating later on with David Bruce on the late show of the Pro Chess League, the Pacific Division.
Yeah, and I'll be in bed by then, so yeah. But it goes, I mean, the commentary, like I say, goes on all day, all night. I mean, where I am, it's 5 o'clock in the evening now. But I mean, it's great. It's just a chessathon happening today. Chess everywhere, going on everywhere. So it's going to be all good, and lots of stuff for chess lovers. Okay, well, looking at the position, I mean, look at the score between the Oslo Trolls. If we just keep an eye on the scores, my outside horse, the Armenian Eagles, they have now. They have now taken quite a big lead there, haven't they, Anna, in that one? So
They did, and I think they will be doing very well in general, because I remember that they actually won the qualifier tournament. So the names are not that known. I know some of the Armenian players, but in general, I think the chess community doesn't know the team so well. But as you have mentioned, the Armenian players are so dangerous, and they won the qualification tournament to be in the Pro Chess League. So that's something to take into account, the Armenia Eagles.
Certainly, dangerous team. And we're going back to the game. We see that white has played c4. Now, this is going to change things drastically. Was it premature to do that? Should white have waited? Because now black has activated the rook to b4. And now the black rook has actually grabbed a pawn. So white, on the other hand, manoeuvring the knight to what white perceives as a better square. White can play c5 and bishop takes a6 if needed, but I'm just wondering what white's plan is here. White seems to be maybe losing it a little bit here, Anna, losing the plot. A move like
what happened? He just pushed c4, perhaps not in the best moment.
Maybe it was a bit premature there, because this a pawn is I thought there was a knight d5, bishop takes f5, rook takes d4 check. I think maybe c4 was premature there. I mean, but the time situation, Anna, white is very, very pressurized on the clock, and Tari could be coming through here now in this game. So this could be the key factor of this game at the moment.
Yeah, and it happened just the line that you have mentioned. Bishop takes f5, rook takes d4. Now, after king f3, the rook has to move, but the c5 pawn will also drop. The c3 knight will be pinned, and there's this a passed pawn.
Yeah.
Bad things happening to white.
That's right. And just like to give another shout out in the Twitch chat as well. We have Chess Bay in the Twitch chat.
Hi, Chess Bay.
Hello, Chess Bay, and hello to everyone else over there. Chess Bay, always supporting the streams that happen in the chess world, which is great to see. And yeah, this is kind of like typical kind of thing I do, Anna, with white. You know, I get a bit impatient. What's that move? What is? Oh, a little sting in the tail. A little sting in the tail. But I always get a bit impatient, Anna, and I play c4 too early. You know, I'm not really a Karpovian kind of player. And Arian, Tari has just really just shown why that was premature, and the a pawn is going to be a queen very, very shortly, I would imagine. Bishop c4 and rook b1. Okay, and it looks good. There's still some chances because now white has got the bishop on the good diagonal, but it looks like black should be winning this one, I'd imagine. Rook to a1 played.
And the Gnomes have scored already 2 points, so basically this is the last game. The Stormbringers would need to win this game with the white pieces, which seems to be impossible.
Yeah, I mean, this is completely over now, and white can resign this one. Black has won the exchange, and that a pawn is just going to come all the way down. You see, double pawns are good, Anna. If you lose one of them, you've got another one. And
that's great about double pawns.
I know. And okay, well, in this situation, black is just swapping off into a position which black knows is a technical win. So there we go. That one is over there, Anna. And I suppose we should now keep an eye on Magnus if we can, if he's going to start again soon. And yeah, we'll keep an eye and wait for Magnus to start the second round. So just to remind everyone, the players that are playing today, we have the team pairings in the Eastern Division, and these are the team names here. So these are the teams that are playing, the All Indian Clash, the Baltic Clash, and then we have the board pairings here. So these, well, I say board pairings, that's the first one for round one, board pairings, but obviously everyone in each team plays everyone else in the opposing team. So it's going to be a very interesting situation there. And let's go back now and see if we have any more action and any more games going on. No Magnus Carlsen as yet, so they're waiting for round 2. Any game you'd like to pick, Anna?
Oh, it's just difficult to pick anyone who's not Magnus, but we shall definitely look at everyone. It's so difficult when you have the world champion and you just want to follow his games. Well, we appreciate all the other participants, of course, of the Pro Chess League. And as we mentioned, board 4 is as important as board 1 because everyone plays everyone. And by the way, board 4 for Norway is also a dangerous player. I heard that he's a 12-year-old boy, one of the biggest talents of Norway right now, and he's very good at blitz and rapid, according to Tari Svensson. Shout out to the Norwegian reporter who helped us with this information.
I can remember, Anna, when I played in Oslo. I mean, I love Norway, one of my favourite places, apart from the price of everything over there. But I played in Oslo once, and there was a 5-minute tournament going on after the main event in the evening, and I was there with a couple of friends in England, and Magnus Carlsen was, a little baby at the time, walking around in his diapers, beating everyone. But I remember playing this 8-year-old girl, and all my friends were watching 5-minute game, and she absolutely destroyed me. She just it was so embarrassing. I think grandmaster at the time, and she just banged out this long theoretical line in the Bovnik semi-Slav. She looked so evil. She was only 8 years old. She looked quite sweet, but then she got into it.
Seriously?
So I know. I don't even know. I can't remember now. It was a long time ago.
Maybe Magnus's sister.
Yeah, maybe Magnus's sister.
Yeah, his sisters are playing, so maybe you just lost to another Carlsen. That's okay.
But I do have a 100% score against Magnus, so you've got to beat them when they're in diapers. That's the rule, So before they get good.
I couldn't. I played Nihal Sarin, who's going to be a top grandmaster in my opinion.
Definitely.
He's playing for the Indian teams as well. Not today, but he's gonna play later on. And I just couldn't. I couldn't even make a draw. They're so tough now.
Well, he's a class act. That is a name to watch out for, Nihal Sarin from India. He's also a really nice kid as well. And
he's just super nice.
He is.
He's going to play for the Delhi Dynamites.
Yeah, he is. Is he playing it today in Delhi Dynamites?
Today not, but I'm sure that he will play in the future. He's just very enthusiastic in general, so I'm pretty sure he will play as many games as he can. Yeah,
sure. And just quickly now, we're just going to have a quick look while we wait for Magnus to start, because of course he is the star attraction. We're having a look at a game going on between the Delhi Dynamites and the Mumbai Movers, and this is between two grandmasters. So again, the score at the moment is 2-2 in that match, so this could be a very key game. It looks to me at the moment, I mean, it's equal on material. I think I like black here, but I'm not sure as I say that. I'm kind of thinking if black can win the H pawn, Black's pawns are going to be very strong, but I don't know, Anna. It's actually maybe not that clear. Who would you take? Would you take white or black here? I'm not convinced.
I'm confused because I see some mating net with knight e7, rook h8, which probably won't happen. It doesn't look like it's impossible to defend against it, but you're right that the h4 pawn is there hanging.
It is, yeah. I don't know. It's very interesting. I kind of like your knight e7. I mean, I'm kind of a crude player, Anna. You know, I don't mess around with
raw chess.
I'm just raw. I don't mess around with any of these subtleties. I see a checkmate. I go for it. If it works, it works.
If you would have played knight e7, you would have prevented rook f7 check. Like it was a prophylactic move.
I like your plan. I think it was a good idea there. Maybe rook d8 here. Try to embarrass that bishop and go for a similar plan. I mean, you know, the bishop is a little bit exposed there. Black doesn't have any... Black is taking the h-pawn with check. That is an issue. That is an issue. Okay, rook takes h4 is going to be check. And that is a major problem. This check on h8 is not scary unless you can somehow cover the g6 square, as Anna pointed out. But it's very hard to do that because our knight cannot get to the two squares that will control this g6 square. So I think I like black. I think black is doing well in this very important game at the moment, Anna. Yeah,
I think the same, though I still don't know what happens if white moves the king away, because I still want to make this... No, but I can't. I mean, I was wondering if I can later make this knight... but you covered the e7 square and the f4 square, so no, I really don't know what shall it be. Or maybe after rook aj check, rook c6 later, so...
That's interesting. What about if we go check king g6, rook c6 straight away? This is one potential idea.
Yeah, I meant that even if you give a check, like you can draw back the king to, well, d3 or e3. I didn't know where to go.
After in this position, king d3 or something, and... then try to get
they are playing just this position, checks. Maybe it's going to be a draw.
Okay, let's have a look. So king e4, and are the black rooks going to get in the position? I don't know. I mean, the white king, can it even escape to a3? That's a bit drastic, you know. I
think he's trying. He's going in that direction.
Well,
and what happens if black stops? What happens if black doesn't want to repeat? He has to go then rook d7, but he will lose after knight b6.
Knight b6 and knight f4 check is also a very strong threat in some positions. Let's say rook d7 here, knight to f4 check is going to pick up the black rook. So actually a draw there. So well, I think that was that resource that white found at the end with this check on h8. So let's just have a look at that. Then rook c6 was a good way to defend. And I don't think white could play for a win, Anna. Let's say the white king tried to get to a3. That's the only place that looks kind of safe.
Yeah.
If white tries to do that, white's going to get mated, because if the king ever comes that way, it's too far away. Rook here, check.
It's beautiful. Yeah, so no one could play for a win in this position. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's right. So that was could be a very important draw, that one, for someone. I don't know who yet, but someone. So
we shall have a look at their teammates. How is the match going so far?
Let's have a look. So let's now move over to this game between, well, again, this is one where white should win because of the rating gap. And this is the Mumbai movers with the white pieces seem to have a fantastic position in this game at the moment after rook takes c7 has been played. White's a pawn up, black's pieces are all cuddled up over there, black's time is ticking down. I mean, this is just terrible, absolutely terrible for black here. And look at the B and C pawn. Bertie and Cedric are coming up the pawn. I might have to call the A pawn Anna now. What do we reckon?
Best friend.
Do we call the A pawn Anna now? Anna? Should we call it the A pawn Anna the A pawn? I like that.
I don't want to be that egocentric to say that.
Oh.
His name was... What was his name before?
Ari.
Ari.
Ari the A pawn. Yeah, that's right. Ari the A pawn. But well, I think if the A pawn becomes a queen, then it can be called Anna.
Wow.
How about that? So we do that. So
I love that.
Okay, but it looks like in this one, the Mumbai movers are going to pick up a point in this important game. Magnus doesn't seem to he has started, so let's move over, and it's always interesting to catch the openings. So the opening started with black playing the French defense, and Magnus now playing the King's Indian attack. D5 now played, and the normal move here is knight to D2. This is the move that Bobby Fischer has played against the French defense, but Queen E2 is a Magnus speciality. Now, if I was black here, I'd be seriously tempted to go something like pawn takes pawn, and then play E5 and say, okay, do you really want your queen on E2, Magnus, and play this kind of weird position? But Magnus also...
Yeah, I do that myself. I like to do that against these kind of variations, like transpose to an E4, E5 opening where it doesn't make sense that your piece is on E2.
That looks kind of like an idea, doesn't it? Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
that's a variation where black can play. He's thinking, and then he went bishop e7. I think simply the fact that you are playing the world champion is already intimidating. So even if you would normally go for that variation, you are afraid to do those kind of things against Magnus. You think like, oh, what if he knows more, and what if he sees something there?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, it's so great to play Magnus. You know, it's just such a great opportunity for all these players. You probably never get an opportunity to play him at any other event. But this position's now looking more normal because Magnus is going for the kind of traditional King's Indian attack where you go bishop G2, castles, and the H-pawn plays a very important part in these games. The H-pawn is often used as a lever. Harry, come on, Harry, get in there. So it's kind of a very normal position here, Anna, I'd say. With, I mean, the plans here for white, let's say black castles. Magnus's plan is normally like rook e1, b5. We saw this in the match with the Indian teams, and now at some point this is often happening. E5, and you go knight to f1, and I've had this position many a time with black, knight to h2, and the h-pawn comes up here, and it's a race of kingside attack versus queenside attack. So it could go like that. Maybe. Am I jumping the gun a little bit? That's very typical.
No, that's the perfect plan. So I think everyone who wants to learn the King's Indian attack, that's what you should do. Basically,
yeah.
Harry, the key is always Harry, and then just listen to Simon.
Oh, I don't know about that. If you want to become a better player, no, just watch Magnus. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, playing a6 on the second move.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's very funny because it's a funny.
First, this is just a joke.
Yeah, I mean, I remember there was a time when I used to teach children chess as well, and had some promising children. And at the time, one of them got really interested in chess, and he said, "My favourite player is Hikaru Nakamura," and I thought, "Oh, sorry." No, I thought, okay, that's great. Yeah, that's brilliant. It's really good because he's a great player. And yeah, if you want to improve, have a look at Hikaru Nakamura's games, and and see how you can learn from his games. And the kid goes, okay, I'll do that, Simon. That will make me better. And then the next tournament that Hikaru Nakamura played, on move 2, he played Queen to H5. So yes. he went for a little phase. Can you remember that, Anna? He went for a phase of his career.
He did. He loved that variation, Queen H5 on the second move.
I know. I mean, for example, we're going back to the game in a second, but he played this. He played Queen H5 in a serious tournament, and the pupil came back to me. He goes, "You told me not to bring my queen out earlier, and Hikaru played Queen H5," and I'm like, "Oh no, what am I supposed to say to that?" So I was like, "Okay, bring your queen out early, do whatever you want. I'm giving up this teaching malarkey." So that was strange, anyway. But okay, back to the game. So H6 now played.
Yeah, just to everyone wondering in the chat how you can follow particular games. So if you don't like our choice, you can simply follow your favorite teams by clicking on the buttons below. So if you're watching us on chess.com/TV, you have these follow buttons. Click on the name of the team you want to follow, and then you will see all the games of your favorite team.
Yes, indeed. And it's a good little feature there. So you can have a vote for who you want to win. And I'd like to hear people's views in the chat. Who do you want to win this? I mean, I'm a bit biased. Obviously, I want to go for a London team and the Puffins, and the Icelandic. But yeah, this position, going back to the Magnus game. Well, I know one thing. If we go back to move 9 here, I mentioned this plan where white does this knight d2 and stuff. Because black's played b6, the move that Magnus plays now, c4, is quite a trendy sort of newish idea. I know Gwaine Jones, who's playing in the top group at Tata Steel, once used this to defeat me in a game of chess, and it seems to work pretty well, Anna, for Magnus. Magnus has got a nice pawn on e5, which he can base an attack around. This is what Alakine, ex-world champion, said. When you have a pawn on e5, you should aim for a kingside attack, and he's got a bit more space to maneuver around. So I would probably enjoy being with the white pieces here, unless e5 is weak. I mean, the only thing I'm wondering is queen c7 is trying to pressurize e5. Is it a strength or is it a weakness? This could be how the game is decided, Anna. Is that pawn good or strong? Or it could just be Magnus is going to win whatever he does because he's Magnus.
Probably the latter, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter. He can drop the pawn and still win. Harry!
Yes, come on, Harry. There you go. Magnus knows who what to play. Come on. Yes. You got the shout in there, Anna. Is that the first time you've ever shouted Harry?
Probably, but not the last.
No, you'll have to get used to it during our commentary, I'm afraid. So
I won't do it. That's definitely a pleasure for me that I can be commentating with you, Simon. So this is a double ginger show today in the Eastern Division of the Pro Chess League. Yeah. Look at us, like two twins.
It is, yeah. And pleasure's all mine as well. It's great to be commentating with you, Anna. The first time we've done anything like this. We did a little test run yesterday, and you should all join our own Twitch streams as well. Ginger GM is mine, and Anna Chess is Anna's. Go and check them out. Okay, so we now have Magnus potentially sacrificing his pawn, but I don't think it is, because there's a tactic happening on b7 here. And look at Harry go. Look at him go. He's done a grand job in this game of
yeah, but now he's blocked. What do you do when Harry is blocked?
Shed a little tear, you know, and and you know,
tell the other Harry to go away.
Yeah, life goes on, you know. So,
Gary.
Oh, poor Harry. He's gone. Oh, look at that. I love it. Knight d5.
He takes e6.
Oh, that's
winning
a lovely
material
move.
Back. What a nice sacrifice.
That's a lovely idea. Very typical for this kind of position, Anna. I mean, I think black has to take it, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But knight d5 is a lovely move to play. And after this, well, we can either go e6, or we could even consider just taking the pawn back as well, because now we're threatening both e6 and d6, both strong moves. So I think this is a great move, Anna. Knight d5, isn't it? Really nice move.
It looks like a crushing move. I don't think black has a good response. Queen b8, holding on for now, but looks so passive.
Yeah, it looks horrible, that move. I mean, maybe the best move, but we're just how's Magnus gonna? Can he punish this move at all? Okay.
Whoa, bishop h3.
He's going on turbo power now, isn't he? And anyone who thinks that Magnus Carlsen can't attack because he's such a good endgame player, well, I mean, he can attack. He can attack, definitely.
Definitely.
It was a famous story about Macau Tao, who was known as, basically the most amazing sacrificial attacker of all time. And for some reason, people assumed that because he was such a great attacker, he couldn't play endings. And he was a great endgame player as well.
That is true, that people thought that he was not good at it. But tactics and endgames actually have a lot in common, especially in like calculation and precision. And Magnus, well, he's just a universal player that's good at everything. I believe that people just don't realize how strong they are in terms of tactics, because at elite tournaments, they don't get the chance to play like this, like crushing victories you don't really get to see, at least not very often, because the opponents are also very strong, but they just see it. So everything that they analyzed was a tactical combination that they couldn't play a move because of.
Yeah, that's totally agree. And when they do have a chance to play their tactics, another reason they are so strong is just their calculation ability is way above that of us sort of mere mortals. I know it was even Matthew Sadler, English Grandmaster, who was 2650 and he was a professional chess player. And this was when 2650 put him in maybe the top 30 in the world. And he gave up chess for a little bit because he basically said, well, when I analysed the top 10 in the world, they just see so much more than me. And he was 2650. And he thought, well, he thought he was just another level behind, which I found quite amazing, that these guys' ability to calculate is extraordinary, I think. So, yeah.
Certainly. So Magnus, I believe, and Simon believes, and Harry believes that he is winning. It was all because of Harry.
I know.
And Gary.
Harry has sacrificed his life for a good cause here, hasn't he? He's a
and
real
maybe
hero.
Gary 5 was a mistake because after that, knight d5 just appeared on the board.
Yeah. And
what about his teammates?
Okay, let's have a little look. So, should we go to Arian Tari? I'll tell you another player we should bring up, and this is a player Johan Solomon, and Johan,
also from the Norwegian Olympic team.
He's now a grandmaster. He's playing Sergei Grigorits now. Probably pronounced that wrong. Apologise, not my strong point. But Johan, I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, Anna, but he posts some amazing chess puzzles. I love his tweets.
Yeah, I follow him and I love what he's doing. Like basically every day there's a chess puzzle by Johan. So you should follow him on Twitter. Shout out to Johan.
And he's only a young player. And one of the great things I think about chess in Norway is that compared to other countries, they all seem to work together a lot. So I've seen pictures where Magnus is helping Johan with his preparation and training, and I think that's amazing. You're getting help off Magnus Carlsen, and a lot of world champions just wouldn't bother doing that. They'd be thinking, I'm not going to help that patzer, So, but here it looks like White's doing okay with this very interesting b4 move. That's a move and a half, because it looks like it can be captured by two pieces, but we can discount pawn takes. Can we discount pawn takes? Because the bishop takes d4, of course, we can discount that. And if queen takes, Anna, is rook b1 the idea, do you think?
I guess so, and then capturing on b7.
So let's have a look.
That looks like the idea.
So rook here, queen moves somewhere, try to keep it active, and then the white rook becomes very, very active on b7 there. And I like this. I mean, the d pawn can be really strong later on. And I think I prefer to be white in the position.
I like White's chances as well. What do you think, which bishop shall White give up? Because he has the chance of allowing knight takes f3 or taking on d4 himself.
That's a good point. I mean, I wouldn't want to take on, let's say black plays a move like this, which is probably a bad move, but I would never want to take on d4 as white, because we have the famous opposite coloured bishop position where white's winning chances are going to be pretty much zero there. So I think as white, I just want to dislodge this knight here, which is kind of what white's trying to do. White's trying to get rid of the one pawn that is defending the knight, because if you can get rid of that pawn... So you would
be happy about knight takes f3?
I think so. Let's have a look. Knight takes f3, queen takes f3, and I think this pawn on d5 is a real problem for black later on. If I can get it a couple of squares up the board, this seems like the winning could be a winning pawn. White's at least a little bit better here, but. Should we go back to Magnus anyway? Because we don't want to leave him too long, do we?
Let's see what happened there.
Sure. We'll have a pick-up, shall we, from where the last position was. We had...
Oh, he's just crushing.
He is.
Queen up.
Queen up, wow.
Queen up already. I think we should just simply claim that he has won the game. There's no material for the queen, just two pieces. But he's picking up even more material. It's
very strange, Anna, because in the game, it went pawn takes d5, where we saw last, e6, and now knight f6, and thank you very much. I'll take that queen. And he grabs the queen, and it's
why not?
Why not? And nice tactics from Magnus as always. And well, you're right, Anna. I think it's time for black to resign, isn't it? So yeah.
So this is a win, another win for the world champion, and that means that we shall go back to his teammates and see if the Stormbringers can equal the score. Actually, they would need to start scoring more wins because they lost the first round, so they are behind for the moment, but everyone plays everyone, guys. Remember that this is the Pro Chess League where board 1 is as equal as board 4, or the other way around, actually. Board 4 is as important as the top players.
Yeah. So just to clarify, I know everyone really wants to keep an eye on Magnus, and of course we will be keeping an eye on Magnus for most of the duration of this because it's Magnus Carlsen, the world champion. But his game at the moment is not that interesting because he's a queen up and he's played an excellent game so far. So unless he does something horrendous, he's going to win very easily. And I think, as we see, he's just going to get bishop g2 in, stop the checkmates, and it's game over. Or queen e5, even better. We might see a resignations here. And is black going to enjoy the last couple of seconds of playing against the world champion? He is. He's going to say, I'm playing the world champion. And he had a couple more seconds of pure joy there, actually.
Oh, so, the limelight.
Yeah.
So that was another victory from Magnus Carlsen. So far, he is doing very well after his basketball match, probably still in his sweatshirt. But we still love him. He's the world champion. He is,
yeah. And someone else who was apparently playing basketball with him was the world junior champion player with the white pieces here, Arian Tari. And after rook fd8, well, the score at the moment we can see is that the Gnomes are doing very well, and somewhere the Stormbringers need to start getting points. Could it be in this game? Could it be in this game? I don't think so. It
doesn't really look like, does it?
No. It doesn't look like it at the moment. And look again. Look at it, Anna. You missed it. I want to hear you say it, Anna.
Sorry, I was looking at the chat and what happened?
You got to say it. What's the name of that pawn, Anna?
Harry.
Look at him go. They obviously had a team talk before, didn't they? And
certainly, or pushing Harry up the way until they can.
I know, and I think it's totally true. Magnus and Tari obviously said, right, we've got to win this match. How are we going to win? We've got to push Harry. It's the only way. And it seems to be doing them well. It seems to be doing very well at the moment. And now White's getting ready to launch a very deadly attack over there, Anna, with bishop takes h6. So yeah, and what?
Harry in trouble, and the king on g8 is in trouble.
It is in big
what
trouble.
Can you do? How do you prevent bishop takes h6 without dropping the f7 pawn? You have to go to king f8, but I feel like it's not safe there either.
Looks very risky there. If you put the king there,
does look very bad.
Is there any way we can punish that? Maybe we just go rook e4, Anna, and I try to play rook g4. And bring another piece into the attack against that one. That looks like a good plan.
Knight e7. So he wants to play knight f5 in case of bishop takes h6. But I don't think that will help that much. I mean, even if you place the knight on f5, like let's say queen to g4, you're still threatening bishop takes h6. And once you play knight f5, I feel like white has 3 or actually 4 attacking pieces if we count the e1 rook as well, and black only has the knight as a defender. So I just don't believe that this can be a survival for black.
No, it looks very risky. I mean, it's a good defensive move though. I mean, all credit to black, who
certainly very creative and probably the last resource. But
yeah,
I mean, what I learned from Garry Kasparov, and he mentions it in one of the videos that's out there on YouTube, him analyzing his games, and he was just counting how many attacking pieces are there and how many defenders, like even including the pawns, and the pawn would be the same as a knight, like, the majority rules. So here there are so many attackers for white that it's impossible that black can survive.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it should be a good way forward somehow for white. I mean, all credit though, because at least when the knight hits this square, black is getting some counterplay against d4. So it's a very good it's a very good move, that one, a very good defensive move. And the other thing is, if I try something like rook e4 now, Anna, to defend this one, I've got to be very careful of a c5 break, and all of a sudden this dead piece over here. It was dead before because it's just staring at concrete. It's like going up to a wall and just staring at it. Not much fun.
Yeah.
But now you have to watch out for c5 at some moment, and c5 could liberate all of black's pieces with a knight coming here as well, potentially. So it's a very clever move, knight to e7. Bishop to e3 was played.
I'm a bit surprised about the queen going to f4 and the bishop to e3. I don't feel like they are collaborating the best way. I
No.
thought the queen would go to g4 so that you keep the diagonal for the bishop.
Maybe White is getting ready to play g4 himself. Do you think that's the idea when
Perhaps that's what he
trying to-
wants. Otherwise, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He wants to push g4, chase the knight away because the f7 pawn is also weak, but knight d6 will protect it.
Yes, I agree. G4 is. Can you play G4 now? That's a strange move, moving the queen there. What was the idea of that? G4 knight D6 is that the way it's going to go? Chess Taron, a little question in the Chess.com chat is asking Simon, if your pawns were all female, how would you name them? Well, the thing is, I keep all my pawns male at the start, because what happens when a pawn fulfills its wish and gets to the 8th rank? It becomes a female. So when they become queens, that's when they change the names. So we have Anna the A pawn, we have Beatrix the B pawn. I'm making this up as I go along. I don't know. I haven't really thought about this. I don't really queen my pawns that often, so I've never really got to that situation. So anyway, continue with this game, and a knight d6 has been played, and now the knight is purely in a defensive role on d6. It seems it's not in a very aggressive attacking role. Can White increase the pressure? I mean, I'd love to play rook c5, but that would drop my rook on e1. So I don't do that straight away. Can I go bishop d2 now? This is the kind of move I'd want to play, bishop d2, because it frees up both my rooks, and I want to try.
But isn't it where you're coming from? I don't understand why. Okay, the pawn on d4 was hanging, so he had to play bishop e3 or rook e4. But it just looks like a waste of time going bishop e3, bishop d2.
Sure. So
I agree with you that it's not ideal to have the bishop on e3.
Yeah. It's kind of how does White increase the pressure here? I mean, is the other way out to go king h2, rook g1, and rely on another pawn break? We talked about how we should, always consider our pawn breaks. Do something like that, something like g5. Yes, something along those lines. Maybe push g5, but I don't want to rush pushing g5, because I give away the f5 square again. The knight can come back there, so I kind of want to build it up. There's no rush into playing that. White must be better, though, I'd say here. White must have the edge in this game. So,
yeah, I agree with you. And I see, by the way, just a side note, that players who will come on later on, they play other divisions, so they will be playing in a few hours. I see them playing blitz games. I see many of those usernames popping up because they are warming up for the big match of today.
Yes. Which players are playing later, Anna? Can you name some?
Whoa, so many. It's just difficult to pick. We already mentioned that Yu Yangyi, one of the best Chinese players, will be here. Lanier Dominguez will be playing. And sometimes maybe people don't even just want to know the highest rated players, but the beloved streamers that are out there. For instance, many teams will have their own streams. So especially, for instance, the Minnesota Blizzard with Andrew Tang and John Bartholomew. Who would not root for the Minnesota Blizzards? They're facing the reigning champions, St. Louis Archbishops. That's a tough match, and Vladimir Fedoseyev is their board one.
Okay, wow. And you've got the chess bras as well playing.
Certainly.
So,
well, we just mention the chess bras all the time. I thought maybe I should name a few other teams
good
too.
point. That's I can only think of a couple of teams on the top of my head, but I mean, some of the American teams incredibly strong. The Webster Windmills, obviously a very strong team from the Webster School, I think it is. I'm looking forward to the Central Division, which is played after the Eastern Division, because you've got London Towers playing, and part of the London Towers team, a couple of very good friends of mine, a friend of mine who lives a couple of miles away, and the Reykjavik Puffins. And, well, they are the Puffins, so, lot to look forward to later on as well.
And Jan Shahari will be commentating with Lawrence Trent. So, guys, don't go anywhere after our show, because the Central Division will be playing with two wonderful commentators. And basically, the whole day you should be hanging out here on Chess.com or on Twitch, because this is just the big day, the first day of the Pro Chess League, second season. Epic, already epic. Just the second season, and it's so strong.
It is.
Strongest ever.
It's crazy. There's a comment by, is it Elmkey, in the Chess.com TV chat, and that's probably the biggest honour I've ever had. And it says Anna and Simon look like they're twins. Oh, that just, I mean, come on. So it's been
I love that. I love that comment.
A bit of gingerness going on today in the commentary. So
yeah, all I need to do is grow a beard, and that's it.
Yeah, it could take you a couple of years. So,
yeah,
easy.
I can do it. I'm sure there's some kind of a cream.
So okay, rook d2 played, and going back to the game time situation now, both players they're getting a lot shorter, so it's going to get more critical, more fast paced. But at the moment, Anna, Black's holding this together in what seemed like a very tricky situation, because White has been cracking on at the Black king, and Black is defending.
Yeah.
Black is defending.
He's holding on. Ilya Dudukhin is doing a very good job defending this position. So 97, you were right. That was a key defensive move. And now we see that everything is under control. It's not easy for Arian to break through.
Yes, it's not easy. I mean, the one problem piece that Black has is, like we said, this dead bishop there. It's, oh, look at that. Oh, that's going to help, isn't it? Put it on that square. Ugh. Like, kind of makes me feel a little bit nauseous, that one. But I suppose Black is trying to double up on the b file, but it's a really bad piece. Maybe the bishop on e3
looking really ugly, but it was also ugly on b7. By the way, shout out to everyone once again on the chat in Chess.com and Twitch as well. And I see that, as we mentioned, the commentators, they are coming up as well. So once again, hello Jen, and everyone should tune into the Central Division with Jen Shahadi and Laura Strand. And of course, Robert Hess is here with us, our beloved Robert. He will be commentating with Danny, the one and only Danny Ranch, later on as well. Ben Feingold with David Cruz. Don't go anywhere. You have to spend the whole day here on Chess.com.
Yes, indeed, and I'll be tuning in to the next matches with great interest, and yeah, it'll definitely be very, very interesting. So wow, look at that move, d5. Whoa, where did that come from?
I love that. If it works, it's brilliant.
If it works, it's
yeah, and
great.
why not? Because the c file is
nice.
pinned, so e takes, rook takes.
Yeah, very nice move, and that pawn on d4 was kind of one of White's potential weaknesses, because again it couldn't be defended by another pawn. It's what we call like a isolated pawn, and by playing this little sequence, we've also maybe opened up the bishop to new potentials, because the bishop was blocked by the pawn on d4, but now the bishop can fly into some extra squares, and immediately it's attacking the rook. So that seems to have improved White's position quite well. I mean, one plan here, and it could be at some point, let's say rook d2, maybe to try bishop c5 and just get rid of that knight, because then the f7 square is again a target that White could attack. I mean, the knight is defending f7, so I get rid of the defender of the square I want to break through on. So that's certainly a plan. And
I think that's what he's doing. He has moved the rook back to d1 because he wants to double with rook d2. He couldn't move the rook before because that would mean that c takes d5 was possible, and also after moving the queen, of course. So now he's doing the same with bishop c5, just getting rid of the d6 knight, and then f7 will fall. This looks like winning for White.
Yes, and he's got the plan in, definitely. I'm just going to say a shout out. I was quickly looking at was it John HS? He mentioned the name of the pawns when they become queens, and their names.
Yeah, totally. I've seen his tweet as well, and that's brilliant. The female pawns.
Yes, when they get to the other end of the board and they become queens. So of course, and they do have some great names there. And yes, White's certainly taken over this game at the moment. With f5 seems a little bit drastic, doesn't it? A little bit of a sort of drastic punt there, I would say. I'm not sure I truly believe that move, and that is a lovely square for the White knight, Anna, on g6, diving straight in.
Beautiful. D5 in that moment was key, because it already looked like Black was defending everything, and then suddenly the position opened up. Then just the a8 bishop, the a6 rook, you see those two pieces? It looks like they don't exist. They are not helping at all.
Yeah, and this is game over now because white has just grabbed the piece on d6, and
Yep.
as well as being a piece down, black's got a major problems because, as Anna's pointed out, two of the remaining pieces that black has are just complete bystanders at the moment. They're not doing anything in this game. So John HS, and he's named the pawns. While we look at the end of the game, I've got to mention John's pawns. So thank you, John HS. And this is when the pawns get to the other end of the board and become queens. Or you could have it they're queens, they're females to start with. It's whichever way you want to look at it. But he's gone for Anna the A pawn, Beatrix the B pawn, Carrie the C pawn, Dana the D pawn, Ella the E pawn, Fiona the F pawn, of course. And then what do we have? Glenda the H pawn, and Harry the H pawn. I like that. Harry
I love that, but I'm missing the J letter for Jen. So there should be a J pawn, Jennifer.
There should be, yeah. We have to make the board a little bit longer. Get a couple more files in there, you know. So
Definitely.
okay, well, while we watch the end of this game, let's have an update on the scores. And remember, the important thing to bear in mind is that when one team gets to 8.5 points, they have won the match. So the winning number above is 8.5. That means they can't be caught. There's not enough games to catch them. So, for example, the Mumbai Movers are only a couple of... Oh, I've got to count now. They're 4 points away. Oh dear, they're 4 points away. And the Oslo Trolls, Anna, they lost the first round, something like 3-1, and they've come fighting back. They must have won 4-0 in the last round or something.
They?
I think so. So a great comeback from the Oslo Trolls.
Wow.
And there we see Arian winning that one. So where would you like to go, Anna? I mean, the Delhi Dynamites and Mumbai Movers, that is a really close match. So maybe we should keep an eye on that. And as well as doing that, as soon as Magnus starts, we're going to have a look at Magnus's game. But
I agree with you. I'm just making some notes so that I also manage to keep an eye on the results, just like you do. And yeah, I mean 4-0 Oslo Trolls in the second round after losing 3.5 to the Armenian Eagles. That's brilliant. I mean, these Norwegian kids are strong.
Yeah, it's a major comeback in that round against the Armenian players. I mean, the both teams from Norway, a lot of young players in their team, and it just shows you that Norway are doing so many great things in chess. Because the problem in England, I have to say, is, you know, in the 70s we were number 2 in the world, our national team. The English players were, you know, they would nearly beat Russia in some of the Olympiads, and we were basically the second best nation. But now we're really nowhere, and we don't really have any young players, particularly who are helped and coming through. But in Norway, there's so many. And what's it like in Spain? Is it sort of good in Spain for development?
Yeah,
of chess
there are
players?
some, but of course it's not like in other powerhouses like India, China, Russia, and Norway. As you mentioned, they are becoming a powerhouse as well.
Yeah, massively. Okay, so we're looking at again this match between Delhi Dynamite and Mumbai Movers, and this is another key game because the match is so tight. It's gone to 5.5 all. Wow. So any win in any game is so important. King G7, this ending here, I was originally really liking White's position because the knights work very well with the queen, and I thought there's potential to get into Black's position. But I don't know, it seems like Black is holding the balance at the moment here. And of course this is an all Grandmaster clash between two 25-50 players, so both extremely strong. And this could be just a key game, Anna, at the moment. Queen C8 just being played. So
I love the pawn structure. I thought it was a French defense, but it wasn't. Of course, since the pawn is on G3, it kind of looks like it came from the Catalan, but it could have been the French.
It could definitely, yeah. I mean, I just assumed it was a French as well. A draw was agreed. Okay.
Oh.
I'm surprised that White took a draw there. That's a bit...
That's surprising, yes.
Because
perhaps he thought that since he's like 3 minutes below on the clock, he didn't want to risk.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, as White's just played this really good move, and that knight is going to go to G4. There's no way Black can get in on the C file. And we saw Magnus do a similar thing in one of his games. Magnus went knight in, and then he got the queen into h6. So I'm very surprised white took the draw here, because there's a very strong plan. Knight g4, and then at some point I go queen e3 and get my queen, or try to get my queen into h6 and go knight to f6. If you can see that combination, let me just show it very quickly. If black plays a nothing move, maybe black has to play queen h8. But if black does go a6, which is a bad move, knight here, well, after queen e3, it's exactly the same plan as Magnus, isn't it, Anna? I would have played on with white there, but okay, it's a decision. They obviously.
So that leaves us with a 6-6 so far between the two Indian teams. It's just incredible how strong the two teams are, and the draws. Actually, there were very few draws. It's a tie because they both won games.
Yeah.
So fighting spirit there in Delhi and Mumbai. I really wonder which team will win. They are just so close in their rating, and the players are very close in strength.
Certainly. So I was just laughing at... I'm just going to see if there's any more games that we have in that match. It might just take me a second or two to find any more games going on. Maybe they finished their round now. And... Okay, looks like they have finished their round. So I was just laughing at at one joke in. Well, I don't know if it's a joke, but it was Pure Defiance was saying, if you take Ginger GM's reddish nose, thanks, and add it to Anna, you have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
You don't know how often I am Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer myself. Just simply getting a flu.
I think, right. I mean, you've probably heard that kind of joke before, haven't you? I'm afraid. So, you know,
all the time.
Yeah.
And when people don't understand my name on the phone, I always say, well, it's Rudolph, like the reindeer, you know.
Yeah. But anyway, I suppose that kind of made me laugh for a second, and I thought, should I be laughing? I don't know. But okay, well, we're probably now going to have Magnus playing incredibly soon. It might be a good time just to remind everyone of the prizes and who's playing who, and some of the other league tables even. I mean, we have the world map. I'll bring that up. Me and Anna in our segment of commentary are commentating on all the orange dots, the Eastern Division. After us,
I think that's fitting that we are the orange dots.
Totally, yeah, totally fitting. Yeah, and it does suit us that we have a bit of orange there. And then you've got the green, so it's Central Europe, and then we move over to America. Looking at the prizes, very large amount there, and very nice of Chess.com to sponsor us. And you know, I think Chess.com is just doing a brilliant job of, you know, trying to push chess. They're trying to make chess an e-sport, just like esports becoming more and more popular worldwide, and you know, trying to make it as interesting.
Sorry, Simon, to interrupt you, but I believe we confused the map with last year's map. It's still a beautiful map, but the dots are slightly different.
Right, you're right there. Yeah, okay. So my geography is maybe not as good as it should be, but it's we're still doing that kind of region. But you're right, that might be an old map I found there, so my mistakes. And okay.
This year, by the way, we have less teams than last year. So you guys, if you are following the Pro Chess League, last year we were 48 teams. That was a bit too many. You guys said it, and Chess.com and Greg Shahadi listened to you. You couldn't follow the games. You couldn't keep up with all the action. So now it's 32 teams. And there was a qualification tournament because you need to be either in the pool because of last year's performance, or you need to qualify. So it's not just that anyone can play. 32 teams, each division with 8 teams, and then there will be playoffs, and also Super Saturday. So a new format, even more exciting, even more fair, and you should just watch it all the time you can.
Certainly, yeah, and it's very exciting. And while that's going on, we have Magnus now playing his third game, and he has the white pieces here, Anna, and he's gone for the 4 knights opening. So this is a very Magnus-like sort of thing to do. Sort of go for a very solid-ish start to the game, and then hopefully later on get some action going. Now, one interesting plan here, Anna, which I've played before, is if Black plays h6 at some point, to stop bishop g5. So let's say bishop a4. I mean, Magnus can also, well, maybe not take on c6, but bishop a4. If h6, g4 is a move that has become quite an interesting little move. Get Gary thrown up there with some ideas of rook g1 and coming down to take here. But I remember that's one line I looked at. Instead, black has castled, and now Magnus could consider going bishop to g5. On the surface, it looks very funny. He's gone g4. He's gone g4. Me and Magnus, we are like
Gary
chess buddies.
right now, and if knight takes Gary, he just wants to play rook g1.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's great, Anna. I love it. I'm predicting some of Magnus Carlsen's moves, not all of them. But even if I predict one of his moves, I'm happy.
Arian, Gary. He's been using Arian Gary today. That's his strategy. I mean, did he call you before the match?
Yes. Well, I didn't call him. He was busy playing basketball, but quite interesting. He's thrown those pawns up the board, isn't he?
Yeah, he does in true Ginger GM style.
That's a really fun move to play, isn't it? I mean, I guess the idea is, Anna, if knight takes g4, then rook g1 is the way to do this, and just get cracking along the g file. Let's say the knight comes back to f6. Well, bishop h6 is a really tough move now for black to deal with here. What can black do in this position? Black is in some problem. Maybe he has to give up the exchange, but that's not ideal.
Yeah, no, it's not nice. And knight h5 doesn't look like
it
will be holding on for a while.
He's taken it. He's taken the pawn. Rook g1's been played.
For it. Let's see what he wants after bishop h6.
Indeed.
Knight e8, maybe, but it looks so passive.
The main reason why g4 is working, well, this is also very interesting, just thinking about that one. The main reason g4 is working is because black has his bishop on the d6 square, and that means black can't do a normal counter break like d5, because you're taught to meet a wing break like g4 with a central break like d5. Now black has played bishop e7. The central break is a potential move. But it's surprising Magnus didn't go bishop h6. I guess he's going for long-term play, Anna, with queen d2, castles, and he's saying, I'll give you a pawn, I'm going to checkmate you. Very aggressive play from him, yeah? Very impressive.
Yes, so he sacrificed the pawn, but it wasn't for something immediate. Well, actually, he's taking immediate action now, capturing on c6, and then he wants to grab the pawn on e5. Is that what he is doing?
He might just be getting the pawn back, yeah. Something like just knight takes e5, and then he's gone knight takes e5, and then the queen could potentially just come over to f3 in some positions and start attacking like that. It's really basically, like you said, Anna, before, we don't see Magnus playing like this in like Tata Steel or the top events, because he's not really able to, is he? But as soon as we get him in these events, you see another side to him, which is so exciting, I think, Anna.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe that's another reason why he loves the Pro Chess League so much. I mean, he's a team player, so he certainly loves the fact that he can compete together with his Norwegian friends. He loves that at the Olympiads too, and he wants to win everything he plays. But that must be another feature he loves, that he can just go crazy and just crush others, not like at elite events where he has to squeeze what out of stone in 70 moves.
Yeah, I guess he can experiment a bit more, can't he, with his opening ideas. And the position's getting more and more fascinating, with black playing what looks like a very greedy move. Is he really going to try to grab the pawn there? Well, okay, Magnus thinks he is. He's gone queen c1.
Queen c1, wow.
Well, I think he wants to go queen f4 and king d2. This is
wow, that would be epic. Queen f4, king d2.
I think so. Let's say bishop to e6. I want to play queen f4 because I'm threatening to take on f6. If you do take on b2, maybe I can take on f6 straight away even. And this could be poetry, couldn't it? Bishop takes f6 here. You take on a1 with check, and I go king d2. And maybe now black can sacrifice the queen, though. The queen takes g1. Knight takes g1. Bishop takes f6. And black should be doing all right here with the two rooks. So that's why my idea would be, if we have something like this, after queen takes b2, can I just play king d2? I guard my pieces, I connect my rooks and I threaten some tactics. Maybe. Let's go back to the game and just see what's happened. Okay, well, rook e8 was played. a3. Obviously, Magnus is a bit more sensible than me. Queen b6. Oh, come on, Magnus. You know you want to play. You know you want to play Queen f4. You know you do. He wants to play it. Come on. We know he does, Anna. Come on. He's done it. Yes.
Going for it. Going for the Simon plan.
He's gone for
Gary,
it. Yeah.
Harry, and then bring in the queen.
Yes. Why not? Bring the pieces towards your opponent's king. I totally agree. Just, your opponent's king is over there. Checkmate is the end of the game. Throw your pieces at your opponent's king. Simple. It's a simple game when Magnus plays, Anna. So, well, he makes it look simple, doesn't he? I think, but it's a very interesting
He
position.
always makes it look so simple. I wish we could play like this.
I know. It's not easy to play like this, is it? He's the world champion for a reason.
Yeah.
But he's
Once again, shout out to Greg Shahadi, who is here with us in the chat. And I see that you guys are giving us a title for being the best commentary team, tied with 3 others. So basically every team today, we have 4 divisions, 4 teams commentating today. You should be here for the whole day on Chess.com and on Twitch, because this is the Pro Chess League first day and you don't want to miss it.
Yes, that's right. And there's plenty more action to come. And we're looking at the scores. Like I say, the goal is to get to 8.5. And the first match, the All Indian Clash, is getting near to that score. Who's going to be the first team to get to 8.5? It could be the Norway Gnomes, the way they're going. I'd imagine. Okay, well, back to the game. King h8 is played. Really exciting game, this one, Anna, isn't it? Is there a knight e5? Knight e5 would be, let's throw some more wood in the fire. Okay, sorry, it's Black's move. It helps if it's your move. So I'm getting carried away here, I think. That's a problem with this attack.
Yeah, you see the Gary fight open and you want to give mate immediately.
Yeah, I want to kill my opponent. But there's probably a lot of interesting ideas there.
Simon, at this point of the game, would you say that this game will finish with some spectacular fireworks and sacrifices?
Yes.
Awesome.
I would bet on that, Anna.
What would you bet? Like, what pieces will be sacrificed? Like, what amount of pieces?
I think Magnus will sacrifice 1 piece to deliver checkmate. Just a bishop. A bishop or a knight.
Guys, let us know in the chat on Chess.com and on Twitch. What do you think Magnus Carlsen will sacrifice to deliver mate? I also think he will sacrifice a piece. Like, if h6, obviously bishop takes h6. So that's not even a move to look at.
Yeah.
But what else could come later on? Let us know in the chat on Chess.com and on Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, we could look at that. h6, bishop takes h6 is just game over, because now if the capture here, the queen comes in and queen g7 is checkmate. So Black's just played c5, trying to get the queen over to some defense here. And can Magnus now just continue he's gone rook g3 with the idea of bringing in another piece to the attack. I think, there's a little rule. If you don't have an immediate win with your pieces that are active in chess and you're attacking, you should always look at bringing in the reinforcements. And that's precisely what Magnus is doing, doubling on the half open file there, trying to get those pieces cracking along the G file towards Black's king. It looks very good for Magnus, doesn't it, Anna? I think Magnus is kind of in control of this one. All those pieces just coming towards Black. Oh, there's nearly a queen. Is there a queen takes h? Oh, I nearly. Oh.
Queen sacrifice. No one said that. I see some comments. Piece sacrifices, rook sacrifices, sacrificing the opponent's king. I love that comment. He will sacrifice his opponent.
I nearly got very excited there, Anna, with my stupidity, that I thought here I could play rook h3, but there's a number of reasons why that's a load of baloney. So we can't do that. But this is very dangerous for Black. I mean, as the simple move, bring another piece into the attack. We could just go rook to g1. That's one way of doing it. What else can we do here? Is there anything really flash here? I mean, Magnus is such a good calculator. Black's still defending, so these Russian guys are putting up a very good fight against Magnus, considering their ratings are so much lower, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So knight to g8. Okay, maybe we should take a bet on how many moves we think this will end. It's move 18 at the moment, Anna. I
All
say,
right.
okay, I'll let you go first.
Um,
Ladies first. What move do you think it will finish on?
Geez, is that I don't see a direct win, so I would say move 32.
Move 32.
What do you
Okay.
think?
I'm going to
Earlier
go for
or
move
later?
28, 8 moves from now. That's a bit,
Um,
maybe that's a bit.
Probably you will be right. I feel like there's
No.
already a lot of danger on the king side.
I don't see how he's going to. Okay, well, he's coming with his pawn now. F5. Bringing pawns are very important for the attack
Freddie
as well.
and Fiona.
Freddie and Fiona, yes. But Black's still defending very well. I just wouldn't be surprised if there's a big hit. I think you're going to win the bet, Anna. I said 28. We're on move 21. I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll have the little countdown clock. I'll just add this to this game. So people.
Awesome.
So, well, I don't know about a clock. We'll just have the moves. Sorry, I don't get out of the way quickly. Oh dear, what have I done? And we'll try to just add this very quickly so we can see what moves it is. And move 22. So I'm betting it will be over by move 28. Anna's going for 32. So,
And you guys should also say a number on the Twitch chat and on the Chess.com chat. So what move will this game end? Because we just believe that Magnus will win this game. He's gonna probably bring on a crushing attack or win in the endgame. Well, depends on what number you say.
that's right. So we'll move the little move counter up there. And Anna, I mean, look at the match scores. This is like a one-off. How close are
All
the
ties?
matches?
Almost, except for the Norway Gnomes.
That's kind of unbelievable, isn't it, Anna? You have 6 all, 5.5 all, 5 all. The only team running away with it are the Norway Gnomes, but every other team, anything could happen. Cool, we got lots of bets coming in here, Anna.
Yeah, I see lots of bets, and yeah, we don't want this to be like humiliating for the other guy. We don't mean to be cruel. If I see some comments that we are very cruel to this Russian gentleman, we believe that Magnus's position is already winning. So the question is like how soon he will convert it into a full point.
I'm feeling pretty confident.
It doesn't say anything bad about his opponent. He's been fighting so well.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing the world champion and you kind of expect to lose. So if you do anything else apart from lose, you're doing great. But Magnus is playing very, very well today. I mean, really classy chess. And his position is great. That's why we're betting on when he wins. Because, oh, yes. Oh, that's a peace sacrifice. There we go. Oof. Oh.
There you go. You said a peace sacrifice. Who else said a peace sacrifice? But maybe it's not over. It could be more.
Oh, that's lovely. That is just
So what's
lovely.
going on? Let's say,
okay.
if I take with the knight,
If you take the
you're
knight,
gonna go rook g7.
I think I have to play rook g7 here. Yes.
Wow.
And,
So that would be a piece and a rook sacrifice, even if it's
Oof.
temporary.
Yeah, because if rook takes
Crushing.
g7, we have queen takes h6 check, and it's either going to be checkmate on g7 or f8. I mean, knight h7, queen takes rook, checkmate. And if rook f7, well, it's checkmate on g7 again. What a move that was. And knight takes f6. So what other moves do we have, Anna?
I know, I'm just checking who else said a piece sacrifice on
Yeah.
the Twitch chat and on chess.com because, wow, it's a piece and a rook basically. So whether you said piece or rook, I would give the price to you. If we are giving away later diamond memberships, I don't know yet if we can, but we hope to in the future.
Rook take... Oh, is this... Okay, so he's found this. Is this... Okay, so Magnus... Sorry, Anna. If rook takes g8, it's move 26. Is this mate? So take here. Rook takes h6 check. Rook to h7. And is there a mate here? Is there a checkmate here? You've got a draw at least. Is there a checkmate? This is move 28. But let's stick with the game because there must be a mate there somewhere. I mean, we could look at that variation again, but probably Magnus is going to show.
He's going for it. Rook takes g8. Wow. Queen takes, and now queen takes f6. Rook g7. And how is he going to win? If rook h to g7, you can just play rook g3. Threatening rook h3, is that correct?
Yeah, so if we move this...
No check on e1.
Yeah, if we go here, we can move the rook maybe anywhere on the g file.
Yeah, anywhere. Next move,
rook h6
rook
is mate.
g3, rook g4, rook g5, mate on the h5. Harry.
Yeah, and if we move the other rook, is there a easy win here? Oh, just Queen F8 check. Queen F8 check.
It's over.
And then take there. What a that's an amazing tactic.
Rook G6.
And he's played Rook G6, and it's move 30, so it could be a tie because I said 28.
I think it's a tie because it's already completely winning, so it's in between 28 and 32. Tactic. And I will check who else said this number. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Good job with the piece sacrifice, rook sacrifice, and now finishing off the game.
Yeah.
In style, Rook G6. Make next move.
That is why.
There's no move. No move for black.
No, that is why Magnus Carlsen is the world champion, because he's blooming good. And, you know, I mean, as well as being an endgame expert, he's showing us some sharp tactics today. He's crushing his opponents with beautiful variations, Anna. I mean, that is fantastic. Fantastic tactic there. Lovely way to win.
Awesome.
So
we are loving it. And it's 3-0. So far he has scored 3 victories with no problems. We just thought he was slightly worse in the first game, but nothing more than that. And of course, he won it easily still.
Yeah. So we're kind of waiting to see if Black is going to play one more move. So we just get, you know, one more spite move, or if he's going to resign now. Because he could last 2 more moves here, Anna. Or he could go Queen E1 check.
I don't think so. I think it's move 30. Okay. It was move 30. So if anyone said 30, you're a genius.
Yeah, move 30. And that was correct. Oh, yeah, it was move 30. So, yeah. Okay, well, amazing game. I mean, maybe we should just have a quick look at that combination again, because it's well worth seeing.
Beautiful.
And after B5 here, Magnus sacks a piece on F6, opens up the black king, and all of Magnus's pieces. It was what Anna said earlier. Anna mentioned the thing that Anna, well, you learnt from Kasparov, Anna, about attacking pieces. This is a demonstration of that here, isn't it? So, and here they come. They just come straight in to the attack. And after Rook G6, a really fantastic, that's just an amazing combination. Very, very nice to watch that one. So, yeah, good stuff. Amazing
stuff by the world champion. He's using his rest day to compete in the Pro Chess League. If you were not with us here, let's remind you that he is in Vaikanze. Other players are resting, but he just wanted to play for the Norway Gnomes today. It's going to take him about 3 hours of playing online. He has just had a basketball match as well, so he's a very active rest day guy.
That's right. Where would you like to go, Anna? I mean, I was thinking the Mumbai Movers Delhi match could be interesting because it's so close, but they're all so close. So
very close. But what about, let's just look at maybe a match that we haven't looked at before.
Sure. Yeah.
The Estonia Horses against the Riga Magicians, so the Baltic battle.
Yeah, and I'll just try to find a game from there because that's another
one.
If
they are still playing, I also need to check if they're still playing.
Let's have a look.
Let me also help you if I find some of them. I see that, for instance, Alex Onishuk drew. He's playing for the Estonia Horses, and he drew with Nikita Meshkovs. Another horse, Estonia horse, Ottomar Ladva lost his game against Tom Kantans. Tom Kantans is playing for the Riga Magicians, and an interesting fact about the Riga Magicians that they are maybe the only, if not for sure the only, team where there's a married couple. So Tom Kantans is playing, and Anna Kantanen will also play. She's on the team roster. They are a married couple, and I think that's just so nice.
Yeah, that's nice to have it's better than playing against each other anyway, isn't it? I would imagine.
Definitely.
So, you know, playing against each other is I mean, I've heard some stories about husband and wives playing each other, you know, at top level, and it can start some arguments, I guess, you know, definitely.
Yeah,
you know,
so those games are over. Then let's head back to the Indian clash, because as you mentioned, it's just so close. There's one round to go and we don't know who will win the match.
Yeah. So we're just diving back there again with maybe one of the GM clashes in that match between Gupta and Ghosh. Ghosh is playing a good game. Oh dear, that was really corny. And well, this game looks very even at the moment between the two grandmasters, with a symmetrical pawn structure, which means there's more likelihood to be a draw, and both sides' pieces are also not really doing much at the moment. This should be pretty even, shouldn't it, this position, I guess, Anna, at the moment. So
I agree. What about the other boards between the two Indian teams?
Okay, so let's move over to Suri versus Puranik, and another key game. A bit more action going on here. And the pawn structure, I mean, whenever I evaluate a position, I always look at the pawn structure first, and then the activity of the pieces. Pawn structure, well, white pawn structure should be better because the a6 pawn is weak and can be a target. It can't be defended by another black pawn. But, you know, there's a problem with the pawn on d4. Black is putting pressure on that pawn, and black's pieces look quite active, especially with this big knight in the center of the position on e4 there. So maybe roughly equal here, this position, Anna, I guess. Roughly equal.
I agree with you. It could be any result. This is just beginning. What about the remaining two boards?
So let me just bring them up if I can find them. Okay, so
it's Kunte against Lalit Babu.
Yeah. And they all seem to be playing very solid stuff, Anna. I think, you know, at the moment, I don't think anyone wants to risk it and be the loser of you know, the person who loses the match. That's the thing, because if you lose now, 8.5 is the score. It could be key. And, well, look at Harry, though. Harry is coming. I had to say it again. Harry. And this seems to work so well, this push of the H-pawn.
Yeah.
It's worked well so far. Maybe this could combine later on with an attack over there. It's a useful move. It gains space on the king side, and it does sort of cramp black's position somewhat, this h4, h5 idea. To assess the position, well, I would say fairly even again. It's a symmetrical pawn structure. I mean, I don't know if black can get bishop a6 in, try to activate somehow over there. White would probably like to somehow exchange rooks and get the knight, which is very bad at the moment, to the b3 square. It looks fairly even, Anna, I'd say, this one. So, yeah. And the last board.
I agree.
And
the only thing, as you mentioned, the a2 knight is not happy at all, but it will take a few moves, maybe, as you said, trading rooks and knight c1, knight b3. So once again, close to equal. Then who will decide this match? This is the last round.
It is. It's the last round, and it's.
I think they could play like 100 rounds, and it would still be very close to a tie.
It looks that way at the moment. I mean, there's nothing in between these teams as we go.
Yeah.
And this is the last game where, you know, this is the one with the biggest rating gap. We have Roger versus Garg, and the player of the black pieces is the lowest rated player. So white would be hoping to get the win here. And after the move d4, it seems like most of the action out of the games we've been looking at is happening in this game, because now white has a very nice pawn structure. I mean, something like knight takes d4 I expect to be played, and black's pawns on the queen side are very ugly. c6 is very weak, and also black's pieces are very cramped here. So I think white should be a lot better here. And I'd be banking on a win for white in this game, Anna, at the moment.
So Harshit Raja is the player that seems to be, for now, the player that will decide this match, in case the other games will finish in a draw. And that's good news for the Mumbai Movers. Vishy Anand's team, my pronunciation.
That's right.
After 3 hours of talking, it just starts to fail. Yeah. Vishy Anand is not playing today. He's in Vaikanze. So he decided that this was a day to rest, and he's preparing for tomorrow's round. He said it in the interview that I think he will play later on when he's not competing at another tournament.
Yes, he'll be I mean, I can't wait to see him play Magnus, you know, on Chess.com. That'd be absolutely amazing if that happens, you know. So that'd be a big clash. And okay, so maybe we should stick with this match unless Magnus has started. I don't know what people think. Would you like to see Magnus? He hasn't started his game, or do you want to see the results of this match? Because there's only 4 more games to go, and it's going to be, you know, this is deciding which of these teams goes through. So should we have a quick look at all the boards in this one, the All Indian Clash?
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll go back to the Grandmaster clash between Gupta and Ghosh, and in this one, white has managed to get his queen all the way around the back here, So white's queen is a lot more active. That's a very handy queen, you know, threatening now to grab some pawns over on this side of the board. Both kings are quite safe. I don't really like having a bishop in this position because it's a very closed position, and the bishop is quite useless. The two knights should coordinate better, but I think white's better here. I like white's position. Maybe this is turning against the Mumbai movers in this one, because first of all, this is a major threat. I just want to take that pawn. I want to, you know, grab that one over there. You have to stop me grabbing on a5 and then taking all of your queenside pawns here if you're black. So you've got to think of a way to stop that. I mean, the ending, if you play something like queen b6, I was thinking we could take the queen, and now we have a very good square for our knight. Maybe either c5 or e5. I don't know which one's better. If I go to c5, I can try to come to b7, pick off a pawn, and white should have something here. I'd say some kind of edge in this ending. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. So I don't know. Okay, so that's that one. We think the Mumbai movers, it's the Delhi Dynamites who are doing well in that one. So now we move to the next board. Very symmetrical, looks like a very equalish game going on here. Anna, do you agree there at the moment?
Yeah, it's still very equalish. We left it just a minute ago, and it hasn't changed much. They traded pawns on d4, and now the pawn on b2 is hanging, but also the a6 pawn is weak. So I would say that this will end up in a draw.
I agree. So let's now move to the third one. And wow, well, black has got a knight into c3. That is a fantastic knight. And now the cheeky man was trying to grab Harry over there. Can't allow that to happen.
The cheeky man.
The cheeky man. I don't know if I've ever described someone like that before, but the cheeky man, a bit weird. But like you said, it's the third hour, Anna. So, you know.
Yeah, we are going nuts already.
We are. The cheeky man. What does that even mean? So
it's like yesterday when you were saying peace.
I know. I said move a piece. I mean, I sort of just lose the plot after a while.
Insider's joke. We played hand and brain yesterday, and you're supposed to say the name of the piece.
I know. And I just said peace. Move a piece. But I mean, all the games are really heating up now, and the knight on c3 looks good, but white is sneaking around the back, and is this knight? That's cheeky. That was a cheeky check. Look at that. That was a really cheeky
Word
check.
of the day. Cheeky.
Cheeky. Yeah, cheeky. Cheeky's very. I think it's a very English word. You know what cheeky means, Anna? Of course you do. I'm sure you do.
I like the word, but I haven't used it that much, especially not for men.
No.
Maybe a monkey.
Yeah.
Cheeky monkey.
It's
a fairy tale.
It is. And well, I mean, this is weird because the knight's coming to d2, but white can easily defend b3 with knight c1. And then the king can come across and hit the knight on d2. I'm not sure if this knight b1 was a good move, because if it's not going to win a pawn, why have you put your knight on this square? I mean, fairly even still, Anna. So, and the last board looked great for white. So what does that mean? I don't know who's ahead there, Anna. So, okay, so let's do it. Mumbai movers, we take on this one. Okay, so 1 point to the Mumbai movers. Let's say a draw here, makes it easy.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 point ahead, move up, draw here, and then here, well, also looks actually still quite drawish. Maybe a bit better for white, which is the Delhi Dynamite. Such a close match, Anna. Such a close match at the moment. Yeah.
Bobby has just pointing out that in the game that we have just shown, knight takes b4 was a threat. Did we miss it?
Probably. Probably. And
Thank you, Bobby.
I would imagine so.
Shout out to the GMs who still see moves.
Whereabouts was that? This one? Knight.
I don't know which one was that. I guess in the end game.
Around here. Knight takes b4, unless it's another one. Oh, look, I don't know what he's talking about, but I trust him. Okay. Oh no, that's actually a very good point. Sorry, I do know what he's talking about.
Before knight d2.
I think this, yeah, because if king f7, very nice point there. Knight takes b4. That's a very nice line, and after pawn takes, bishop takes. The bishop kind of dominates that knight. Maybe bishop e7 is possible here. to try to get rid of the bishop and let the knight escape. It was certainly a lingerer, wasn't it? A lingering idea there, which I wouldn't have seen in a million years. So
nice idea. Thank you,
idea. Yeah.
Robert, and everyone should be tuning in, of course, to Robert commentating with Danny Ranch later on. The next one will be the Central Division with Jan Shahadi and Lawrence Trent, and then Robert and Danny, and the Late Late Show at the very end with Ben Feingold and David Proust. So don't go anywhere. You should spend your whole day here on Chess.com.
In that last line, let me show it, because Robert was pointing out a very nice variation there. With King F7, for example, Robert was pointing out there's a very nice line here, and Ari the A-pawn is going to become... What do we... Anna. We're going to have Anna the A-pawn with A5, and we've got to show at least Anna the A-pawn, Anna the Queen Anna occurring, and this is a really nice move that
Let's go.
I failed to calculate.
Anna.
Go Anna, go. It's Ari at the moment, but Ari's going to be Anna soon, and now there's only 2 moves to go, and that pawn cannot be caught. That's a very nice line, Robert. Yeah, nicely pointed out there in the chat. Good point. And okay, and going back to the game, let's just catch up with the current situation after King E2. It's one of those positions which looks equal, but either side could probably win. And now we have a position bishop versus knight happening. Do we prefer the knight or do we prefer the bishop?
Oof. This is a good question, because it's not the usual endgame situation you would see. Like, the pawn structure is slightly complex.
It is. It's a very strange pawn structure. And after knight to f4, can you take the knight? Probably not, because the g pawn is just going to queen. That's the first thing you have to ask yourself.
Distant passed pawn, so no chance for black to play a pawn endgame in that case. It's not good for him. But now the king is coming. Okay, he can still play bishop f6 to prevent king d4.
Yep.
Or bishop c7 and then e5 threatening.
So he's got e7, and if king to d4, which is the only way to try to hold on to the pawn, is there some nasty...
Ooh, c6! He wants to take the e6 pawn, trading the c pawn for the e pawn.
Okay, so that has happened. So after bishop e7, c6, king takes, knight takes, king d6, knight d4. Yeah, they both have enough time here.
I think this is going toward a draw.
Which side would you take if you had to take a colour here? I mean, I think I kind of like white, because white's pawns are all on light squares.
Yeah.
And that means that black's bishop can never attack them. You can never attack those pawns.
That's an important feature, yes. And simply, the problem is that white can't really improve. Now he's trying, but after e4, pawns will be traded, and I don't think there's enough material to win this.
Still, I think there's still a bit of work to do here for black, maybe. I mean, it probably should be a draw. But if let's say I can exchange pawns and somehow get my knight to c4, you know, if I get my knight there, it'll kind of tie your... Okay, I say that as a draw straight away. So I was completely wrong.
No, I think it's just that it's very difficult. Maybe, as you're right, that if the knight gets there, then you make the bishop be passive if you have to play like bishop c7 or bishop d8 to protect the a5 pawn, but he just couldn't even get there, it seems.
I agree. So solidish draw there. And looking at the score, 6.5 all now, and there's 3 games to go. So we'll go to the game which we think was basically very, very good for white. Is it still very good for white? This seemed like a banker for the Mumbai movers. And after knight takes c6, what is happening? Oh, tactics.
Yeah, just for those of you who realize that the Norway Gnomes have already won their match, so it's 8.5 points achieved for the Gnomes. They are the first to win today their match, but all the other matches were on 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.
That's a bit worrying.
Just a tie before the very end.
Oh dear, that's a worrying number. But anyway, so what is happening here? I mean, this is getting completely bonkers now. But I think white is in control of everything, I say. I mean, there's some ideas. If you go knight takes d8, do I have bishop takes g2? This is probably king takes, and I have queen g5, but do I have f3 check? And I think white is okay because I've got a queen g4. You know, king here Oh no, I still take on h3. Take on h3 and oh dear. I don't know, Anna.
What
Help
if
me.
I don't take your bishop on g2?
Okay, so bishop takes g2.
Like, I don't know what I'm gonna play, but I just thought maybe I have a useful move, like coming back to f7 with the knight.
Knight f7 and very complicated. Can I try king to g7? Very messy position. I mean, I think
if knight takes e5, are you giving me mate?
I
Queen
don't
h3,
know.
but then I have queen f7.
Now you have queen f7 and queen takes f4 check, which at worst case scenario you have queen h2, which is winning for white. So if you don't have something stronger there, let's keep an eye on the game. So after king h6, white is thinking about it, and black's very short time. White should be in control, Anna, I think, in this position. I mean, you can just play queen takes c6 as white did. White picks the sensible, safe move because this move kind of keeps control. I'd have thought. Get rid of that bishop, which was a bit of annoying piece there. So this.
Do you still have? Sorry, Simon. Do
Yeah.
you still have Magnus's game open? Because I see some of you guys wanting to see how Magnus won his last game.
I'm looking for it. I can't find it actually. Sorry about that. It'd be nice. He won too quickly. That's annoying.
Too quick.
Someone's got
You
to
guys
tell.
can check it. You guys can check it. Just go to chess.com live chess.
Is there any way?
Actually, you can click on the tab under the video. I think that will still bring it up, or since it's over, maybe it won't.
Okay. Is there any way we can find it? Maybe the live game.
Let me find it.
Okay.
For you.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll try. At some point, we will have a chance to look at Magnus's final game. The thing is, looking at the scores above, remember 8.5 is the winning mark. There's so many close games going on that it's there's just too much to look at the moment. But it would be nice to have a quick look at Magnus's game if we can locate it and see what it was, see how he got on. 8.5 is the score that gives you the victory. This game at the moment, black has sort of fought his way somewhat back into the game. It seems this is the clash between Delhi Dynamite and the Mumbai Movers, as you can see, wrong way by the names. I think white is still better here. Quick look at the other games in this one while we try to find Magnus's game. Bishop takes f7, and what's happening here? So who is better? Well, it looks to me that now black is a lot better in this game. I think black is kind of on the verge of winning because these pawns, all of these pawns of whites seem incredibly weak. Okay, so he's had to do a counter-attack. Black is going to go a pawn up with two central pawns, and then he's going to push these guys down the board. So black, and this is the Mumbai Movers doing well there. The Mumbai Movers are doing well in this game. So here, white must, in order to do well in the match, white must be doing okay, and white is doing okay. It's so close, Anna, this match. Absolutely ridiculously close. Queen b7, and white is going to pick up this pawn, and whatever happened there, the Delhi Dynamite will certainly win this game, being three pawns up unless something dramatic does occur here. So it looks at the moment okay. 6.5 all, and here Delhi Dynamite. So they're going to go to 7.5. Here it should be the Mumbai Movers 7.5 all, and this final game where I thought white was a lot better is now not so clear. Black is now a pawn up, and there's lots of pieces being swapped off, and this is a game where white really needed to win in order to keep the match so close. I'm kind of losing track of the scores, but I'm sure everyone at home can see it. Obviously, the logo with the dynamite, as you can see by Garg, is the Delhi Dynamite, and the logo with the here, that's the Mumbai Movers. So do we have, maybe Magnus hadn't started his game, Anna? Is that possible?
Yeah, I just figured out that
okay, we got it.
I was panicking because you guys on Twitch were saying that we missed to see a mate that was given by Magnus Carlsen. Maybe you were not here when we were talking about his previous game, because we did see his game. So he still has to play. This is his last game, last round. There was no missed game. We have seen all the games from Magnus Carlsen, 3-0 so far, and he might do another one. 4 victories for the Norway Gnomes. They won the match already, but we still want to see him playing.
Yeah.
But maybe during the opening, we could still just see the end of the Indian clash because it's just so close.
Yes, I mean, would you like to see the Indian clash or Magnus's game? This is a tricky one. I mean, I think match situation, the Indian game is key, isn't it? Because we can come back to Magnus. But
yeah.
What do you reckon, Anna? I'll let you do the call. I don't know. I don't know where to go. So.
Let's see the end of the Indian match, and then we come back to Magnus, and everybody will hate me, but please don't.
Okay, let's see the end I agree with you. I'll take the blame as well. We're going to see the end of the Indian match, and hopefully Magnus will still be playing his game.
And if you don't agree with us, just follow the Norway Gnomes. Down the buttons are here, just where you are watching the video. So click on the button, follow the Norway Gnomes, and you can see the match and Magnus's game. We will tune in once we finished with the Indian battle.
Yeah. So, okay, this game, it could go on for a little bit of time, but Delhi Dynamite are going to get to 7.5. This is clear. The next game, this is the Mumbai Movers, who are now 2 pawns up. So, without anything drastically horrible going wrong, and I think now this is going to win a piece. This is completely game over. So, it looks like it's all going to come down to this last match here. This game here is the key game because the other games are pretty clear cut. So this one between an IM 24-23 and then a 22-89 is key. Can the hero of the day be Garg? Can Garg be a hero, Anna, here?
He can certainly.
He can. And he's a pawn up now, Anna. He's a pawn up. He's pushing in an ending. I mean, he's turned this game around quite a lot because his position was horrible. I love to see an underdog story. I mean,
I also love that. We are not rooting against anyone, but if we want something that the weaker, on paper, weaker players, lower rated players do well.
Yeah. I think it's a very popular thing in England. We seem to love people who come second in England for some reason. We love the underdog, but this game is key. And White is now in a kind of zugzwang position. He couldn't move his rook, he has to move his king, but now king g4. And White is getting ground down in an ending with 8 seconds left. He's got to move quick. He's moved, rook a2, now rook c3. Great endgame play from Black. And now the rook comes to a3.
Very nicely done. He wants to go f3 and create an h-pawn, is that correct?
I think he's just going to win the a-pawn now, but...
Now definitely. I thought that White was going to hang on to the a-pawn.
Yeah. I mean, you've got rook g5 here. Rook g5 looks like the best way. I think Black should be... This is a very, very clever idea from White. White has at least gone active. That's the best thing to do in an ending. And now just a5. Both players so short a time. Keep an eye on the clock. Oof. 2 pawns up. This guy could be a hero. And this looks like it's completely winning now. Either f3 or h3. One of these moves. Okay, he's gone for a different technique. And what technique? That was very cheeky. What technique? I don't know. But White offered a draw there, Anna. That's so cheeky.
What?
Yeah, how can you offer a draw? And okay, they're both moving very quick. I don't like his technique here. I'm not sure Black should be doing this. He's let the White king in the game. And I think White's okay now, isn't there? Just a perpetual. I think Black needed to have played f3 earlier on.
Wow.
I think that was quite an easy win. This now, to me,
he's
White
still
should be
trying.
holding.
He was going to approach the White rook, but now he's giving up the h-pawn. This means...
I bet you White's going to win this, Anna.
Yeah?
White's 2 pawns down, but I could just feel
Black
it.
Will be regretting. No, of course you cannot accept a draw when you are in a better...
No, White turned down the draw. White just turned down a draw. White turned down the draw. I think White's going to win this. White is... this is ridiculous because White's going to win both of these pawns. I think White's... What on earth's happening? Oh, I feel so sad for the guy with the black pieces, but this is now...
I feel sad for him too and for the team. Like, this is a complete turn of events the Indian clash.
And look, the score is 7.5 all. It's all down to this one game. This one game decides which of the Indian teams goes through. Can White convert, or is Black going to be active enough? I don't know. It's very close to being winning. Is it actually a win? I'm not sure. Because as soon as you go, well, you should go king g4. King g4. Just push your pawns. King g4, f3.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably, well, I don't know if the king should have drifted so far, because maybe that rook can give itself up at some moment. Push the pawns. Push those blooming pawns. Get them going.
Gary and Freddie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is also a smart idea, but the connected passed pawns can actually be stronger than a rook, so it depends if he could have advanced the pawns faster.
Yes.
Now it just looks like a draw.
It does. It looks, well, I mean, the only way white can try to win is taking a big risk. What a game that was. I think they were both winning that game at some point, weren't they, to be interested?
Probably, but I think this is a fair result since both players must have been winning, and in the end it's a draw and a tie between the two Indian teams, Delhi Dynamites and Mumbai Movers. Well done to both teams.
Oof, that was what it's all about, Anna, you know, those tense games. And apparently Magnus is losing. Well, I don't know about that. We'll go back to Magnus. That's a bit of an exaggeration, probably. We'll go to Magnus in a second, just to show you very quickly in this ending where I think Black missed the win. And I don't blame Black, but at some point, I hope I'm around a little bit further back, we had this position here. And where was it? Sorry, I hope I'm not spoiling the whole thing by showing my stupid endgame here. But around here, I think Black just had to play a move like h3, because then Black gets the passed h pawn. You need to create a second passed pawn, and some move like this is very easily winning for Black, because after you capture, the h pawn's going to queen. Sorry, back to Magnus Carlsen. I was wabbling there.
Very nice, very instructive. Guys, you should thank Simon for the free endgame lesson. And now let's see Magnus Carlsen facing Sergei Grigorian. So this is board 1 against board 1. We were mistaken at the very beginning. It's still the same system, and it makes it so exciting that the last round is between the two players that are very close in strength. Board 1 against board 1, board 2 against board 2, and so on.
Yeah. I think we can have a look at the opening very quickly, because it's only 15 moves into the game. And the opening started, Magnus is black, and this weird move, bishop b4. This is one of those lines you see in an SOS book, you know, like it's a sideline.
What is it? I've never really seen it.
It looks like a weird Magnus move, who's been playing weird moves all the time. And, well, Magnus now bringing his queen over to the king side, but white is simply going for his d-pawn idea. The d-pawn is coming, and now he's just taken on c7. So he's gone a pawn up. Magnus, on the other hand, taking on f4. Can Magnus win that pawn back and have two bishops versus two knights? Because if Magnus is just going to go bishop takes c7, it's an open position, meaning, look, there's no pawns in the way. When there's no pawns in the way, we call it an open position. Bishops work much better in open positions compared to knights. So it looks like he's going to take that pawn back, Anna, I guess, yeah? So I think... Is that right? I think so.
Yeah. It's just that the other matches are finishing, so we shall have a look at the last remaining games and then come back to Magnus. Guys, you will really hate us today, but it's so exciting, and we need to know what's happening in the other matches as well. So for the moment, we see that it's 6.5 between the Estonia horses and the Riga magicians, but that will be decided just now. So we shall have a look at what's going on there in their match.
Okay, let's go over there. So I'm going to bring up the games. I also see that my co-commentator from last year, Fiona, has joined in the chat on Twitch. Hello, big shout out to Fiona.
Fiona in Vaikanze.
You're going to be visiting her soon, I hear, Anna, which is going to be a lot of fun, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So
looking forward to it. Noah Struder is playing against Melis Kanup, and he's down to 13 seconds.
Okay. Sorry.
He's also like, he's not a pawn down, but it feels like a pawn down since he has double G pawns.
I'm just trying to get the games at the moment.
Yeah, sure. It's
Let's see.
Paul 66666 against Swiss Power 96.
Okay, got it. Okay.
The other way around. Swiss Power 96. Noah Struder with the white pieces.
Right.
He's playing for the Riga Magicians as a free agent. He lives in Switzerland. He is a Swiss player, strong one, playing for the Olympic team, facing Melis Kanep from Estonia.
And we're picking up the game after rook b7 with an interesting ending here, where the d pawn is looking incredibly strong, and it looks like white might have to give up a piece for that d pawn when now black should be winning. I mean, I guess you just put the bishop on e5 in this position and slowly try to improve your structure. Not straightforward because there's so little material on the board, and the white king can also maybe create some havoc coming into the position, but it should be good for black. At least it's better for black here. And with the time situation, no doubt about it, it's better for black.
What about the other board? And then we should also head to the Oslo Trolls versus Armenia Eagles match, because it's 7-6 right now for the Oslo Trolls.
Do you want to tell me a game to go to, Anna, and I'll try to find it?
Yeah, just a second. I will go there myself. So between the Estonian Horses and Riga Magicians, it's Alex Onishuk playing against Tom Kantans.
Okay.
Alex Onishuk against Kachm. I can't pronounce his handle.
Okay, so we can have a look at Onishuk versus Kantans at the moment. And
what is this piece up everywhere?
I know, pieces are dropping all over the place. And it looks to me that basically black is just winning here, I think. So this is going to be a Riga Magicians are going to get to 7.5 for this game, unless there's some absolute travesty here. Black is a piece up. Black is going to win this one. Not so interested in this one. So we can put the Riga Magicians onto 7.5 points, I think, Anna. So
yeah, I think we should wait until it's completely over, just in case there's a mouse slip or someone loses on time, and this match is about to be over.
Yeah, let's do that. And
Riga Magicians versus the Estonia Horses. Estonia Horses on 7.5. They need one more point to win the match.
One more point. And okay, whoa, there we go. So the Riga Magicians Estonia Horses have done it, by the way. They've got to 8.5. We can see on the updated results the Estonian Horses have done it. So well done to them. So we have
Onishuk has lost his game against Tom Kantans, but his teammate did win. So it's a victory for the Magicians.
Let's have a look at Magnus while that's going on. Shall we? Just an update.
Between switching to another match, the Oslo Trolls, we also will look at right now.
Magnus Carlsen. So this is a quick update just of Magnus's current position. Magnus has won his first 3 games so far, and in his 4th game here, he is playing the strongest player of the Volga Stormbringers, Sergey, and it looks like black has a good position because he has the 2 bishops, but how good are those 2 bishops going to be? White
look at this 95-97 intermediate move in order to get one of the bishops. So obviously you don't want your opponent to have the pair of bishops with pawns on both flanks. That would have been too dangerous.
I totally agree. I'd imagine the bishop is still going to be better than the knight, but it's such a symmetrical position. It can't be too much going on here. Too much of an advantage for Magnus. Will he grind this one down, Anna? Are you gonna, what do we think?
I think he will. I mean, he does that all the time, but his opponent is very strong, Sergei Grigorian. So they played already once and they drew. The game was a draw. So he's capable of holding this position.
Yeah. Update, the Oslo Trolls are only 1 game away now from 1 point away from winning the match. So I wonder if while we keep an eye on this match, I can find one of the Oslo Trolls games. I'm just going to try to do that.
Let me help you with that.
Okay, sure. If you can find the name of the game, Anna, that'd be great while we keep an eye on Magnus's. Because, okay, this ending is all right. But if in actual fact, I'd take white in this ending probably. Because he seems to be making a bit more progress. But so far, Magnus not on the verge of winning this game.
Also, the other game is not about to be over, but if you want to have a quick look at the game between Larso and Kirill Shevchenko.
Okay, so this one is a big match. Is this between this is between Oslo Trolls, is it, I guess, and the Armenian Eagles?
Yes, Oslo Trolls against the Armenia Eagles, and this is board 1.
Okay.
Lars Oskar Hoge against Kirill Shevchenko. He's a young Ukrainian player. I know him. He is my teammate in the Spanish league. He's just 15 and already a grandmaster. Well, maybe in Ukraine it's normal, but not for me.
Yeah, it's not normal. It shouldn't be normal to be a grandmaster at 15, and unless you're, for a superstar. But also, I think Lars, the player of the Oslo Trolls, is a bit of a superstar as well. I think he's a very young player.
Both are young and talented and just improving all the time. So tough game. D4. I like that breakthrough.
And we have to remember, if the Oslo Trolls, if White wins this game, he wins it for his team. So it's a very important game. Black seems to be more centralized here and has a nice control of the open file, and also good control of the center now with, it could even go into an ending. You shouldn't have any problems. I don't think Black is worse here. If anything, Black slightly better, I'd say. This rook on B1, not in the game. The rook on E6, not coordinated yet. So probably I'd take Black here in this position, I think, Anna.
I agree with you. And now they trade queens, so maybe this is going to be a less exciting game. Shall we switch back to Magnus?
Okay. And
wait a second, 7.5, 6. Yeah, I'm missing one more player. I will check the other player, and then we can still go back to Magnus. Wait a second. No, wait. I think the Oslo Trolls will be winning because Benjamin Haldorsson is winning. It's Arto versus Benal. Arto, Artavazd Hairapetyan playing for the Armenian Eagles against Benjamin Haldorsson. And that was a beautiful breakthrough. Look at those passed pawns.
That's right.
It was A was Ari, you said before?
What happened here? Hang on a minute. This is just a blunder. Look at this. This could have thrown the match away for the Armenian Eagles. So we go back to move 32. White is a piece up. Okay, Black has 2 pawns, but it's a piece. Black plays...
I didn't see that moment.
Black plays A4. Okay, a bit of a desperate move because Knight takes B4 is surely winning for White. What does White play here? White plays the blunder of the round, Rook C4. Ugh! Knight takes C4, and now that could have thrown the match away because this is now completely game over. He's gone Rook takes F1, a lovely little tactic when the A and B pawns are going to do it. That was just a massive blunder from the Armenian Eagles.
But what is Rook C4? I mean, what I don't understand is that mouse slip. Where did the rook want to go? I think it's just impossible to understand.
I think this move was just the blunder of the round, Rook C4. I basically just a big mistake that has thrown away this one, and that, as you say, means the Oslo Trolls are going to win now. They are going to win, and
I guess he was afraid of knight takes b4, rook g5, and then 8 takes b3, and that pawn promoting. But still, you can't just play rook c4. It doesn't help. It doesn't make the pawns disappear.
No, and well done to the Oslo Trolls. Barring any more disasters in this game, it looks like the Oslo Trolls are going to win and go through. Maybe then we can go back to Magnus Carlsen, I think. Oslo Trolls, exchange up here.
Everybody wants.
Let's do it. Okay, so back to Magnus Carlsen. Castle? Did I call him Magnus Carlsen? Magnus Carlsen.
It's good. It's good that you're also making these tongue slips now.
I do them all the time, Anna. Yesterday, that was the best. Hand and brain when I just move a piece, Anna. Move a piece. What are you going on about, Simon? Peace. And I've now called Magnus Castle. Magnus Carlsen. Maybe he should change his name to Castle in honour of the rooks.
Sounds cool to me.
Yeah, I don't know. So there we go. A little bit of a Freudian mouse slip there. Well, I mean, going back to the position, Magnus with the black pieces, Magnus Carlsen, whoever he is, he's the new world champion, and somehow his pawn structure has got better because one of the things you should always look at, as I've said, pawn structure, and White now has these disconnected pawns. These pawns are not next to each other, so they can't look after their brothers. You can't control each other, so they're going to be weak potentially later on, Anna. And Magnus has got his king to the centre. So, but it's still okay for White. This is still okay for White, I think, at the moment, but only okay, no more than okay. So yeah. At this moment in time, King E6 played.
The last game, the Norway Gnomes have already won their match, but this is the last game of Magnus Carlsen today. Everybody's watching. Over 6,000 viewers right now online. Thanks to everyone tuning in for this amazing event, the Pro Chess League. We can't thank enough Greg Shahadi and the Chess.com team for bringing this all together.
Yeah.
And we are enjoying it, whether as a player, spectator, or commentator. I think it's just a brilliant event to be here.
Yeah, certainly. And do stay tuned after this, because we will talk about it after the match is finished, but we're just the warm-up act. There's many more great games, players, commentators. You've got the Chess Bras, you've got John Bartholomew, you've got the big names. I don't know if Fabiano's playing today, but there's much more action after the Eastern Division is finished. And we're just looking at the world champion now grind out another brilliant game by the looks of it. And I think this is a lovely move, because he's going to take on f4 next, Anna.
Wow.
Can he just take on f4? A little tactic there. So, for example, the rook moves to defend the pawn on f4, and black may just go bishop takes f4. And it's just a little tactic in the mix of things. If you go rook takes f4, I'm a pawn up now in the ending. If you try something else, like knight h7, I just go king g7, and I'm a pawn up in the ending. So what about you play knight takes f7? Is that a possibility? No, because I think the winning move here is rook to e7 maybe. Is that winning? I want to get to an ending where my bishop is going to dominate your knight, because your knight can't get out. I mean, it looks good for Magnus, doesn't it? Somehow it must be.
Certainly.
And we're just seeing what white is going to play, and white very short a time as well, Anna, in this situation. So
yeah, I feel like the rook e5 was probably the point where white went wrong. It didn't seem to be a dangerous position, but after rook e5, king f6, everything was just in the air. No f4, maybe he had to go knight f3, but it already looks suspicious.
Yeah, and now we have a pawn up for Magnus, and he's grinding away. He's grinding away as we go. So it looks good for him. I mean, okay, there are defensive tries here, but white is very short of time as well. So I've really enjoyed commentating with you today, Anna. Our first time in the Pro Chess League. It's been fun.
The same, Simon. It's such an honor.
Honour for me
the
as well.
Gingers together, Team Ginger.
Team Ginger, that's it. And it's been a lot of fun. We've had some great games as well, haven't we? And great matches, very close matches so far.
Indeed, and Magnus going 4-0, it seems. He still hasn't won this game, but it certainly looks like he is doing it once again. A pawn up for him, and very active pieces.
That's right. And it's great just to have the world champion be able to commentate on the world champion's games and watch him play, even though he's in the middle of a big international tournament at the same time. He's played great chess
he wants
today.
to win, and he takes it very seriously, but he loves his team, and he's very dedicated to the Pro Chess League.
He is, and he's a pawn up now. He's grinding out this ending. Even the b5 pawn is looking like a real target now for Magnus to capture. Maybe his rook can sneak around and try to grab that one. White's time ticking down. Very nasty situation for white at this moment in time. And I guess, Anna, after this we'll just have a quick chat about a couple of things, and then everyone who's watching, please stay tuned, because the next groups we can show you who's playing next a little bit, what you've got to look forward to. It's not just us, there's lots more commentary coming on. I think for another 9 hours after us, Anna? 9 hours more of commentary. Is that
right? The
right?
whole day, just don't go anywhere. Call in sick.
Call in sick, that's it. So and I bet Magnus's opponents are feeling a little bit sick at the moment, aren't they? Being ground down. And there we go. White had enough, Anna. White just thought, this is a bit sadistic. I've had enough. Take it, Magnus. Take the win. So Magnus gets to 4 out of 4 with some great play there, Anna. Very nice play, I think. So, yes. So well done, Magnus Carlsen. And if we look at the scores, first of all, so we're doing the Eastern Division. Now, I've got an old map, I'm afraid, but I'm going to show you the map we are concentrating on, and we're coming to sort of the end part of our commentary. And the map here is of, the Weld, of course. I notice that. It is of the Weld. I can see that. And, I can spot these things. And we can see me and Anna are basically doing the Eastern Division of the Weld.
Yeah,
so
it's not the new map, but you can still see the dots. And it's just great that the Pro Chess League brings together all continents, because now in the second season, we already have a team from Australia as well. So every continent is covered.
That's great, yeah. And the next commentary thing that is going to be going on here is the green areas, so central kind of Europe area, and that's going to be basically going on pretty much straight away after me and Anna are sort of basically finished our commentary. And I'm really looking forward to that because there's two London teams playing, which is great. We got London Towers and the London Lions, so I can't wait for that. A bit of Londonish going on, and we also have.
Let's do a little bit of a preview. What do you think about trying to predict the result of those matches?
I think all the London teams are going to crush it, and I think.
Can you bring up the pairings? Do you have?
I'm going to try.
The website open.
I'm going to try and do that now. So I didn't have it prepared before, but I can do it now very quickly.
In the meantime, I can talk about the teams. Like, I'm really looking forward to the match between the Reykjavik Puffins and the Marseille Migraines. As we mentioned, Maxim Vachilegraph plays for the Migraines, and not only plays, but he is the captain of the team. So that's really dedication. He's the captain. He sends the lineup every week. And so he's going to play today, as well as Etienne Bacro, Jules Moussard, and Marc-Andrea Morizzi are on the Marseille Migrants team, while the Puffins, the famous Puffins, are the Thorfinson brothers, Bragi and Bjorn, as well as Helgi Olafsson is on the team, and Hjorvarstein Gretarsson, they're board one. So this is coming up very soon in the Central Division, with Jan Shahadi and Lawrence Trent commentating. Other matches that will include this division are the two London teams, as Simon mentioned, and I will just quickly go through the other match that doesn't involve Londoners, so that, Simon, you can talk about the British players later. Sure. Amsterdam Mosquitoes versus the Cannes Blockbusters. That's another cool match. The Blockbusters have Mathieu Cornet, Maxime Lagarde, Valentina Gunina, top Russian player, and Daimanta Cornet. All right, so I was good to say that the Riga Magicians are one of the, if not the only team where there's a married couple. Cannes Blockbusters is the other one. The two Cornet, Mathieu, and Daimanta are playing in the same team. Amsterdam Mosquitoes have David Klein, Quinten de Carmon, Miguel Admiral, and Ali Bitaldadze. Sorry for my pronunciation. They played last year as well. They did well, but they couldn't qualify for the playoffs. While the Blockbusters, they were approaching, they were going to qualify, but later on, I think they didn't reach the quarterfinals, so they were kicked out, if my memory doesn't fail me. Now, what we saw today, the Norway Gnomes beating the Volga Stormbringers, is also something that happened last year. The Volga Stormbringers were kicked out from the playoffs of the Pro Chess League last year by the Norway Gnomes. Simon, how are you doing? Because I'm just doing all the talking.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. I'm just now, I've got that. Okay, after we finish our commentary, and we've had a great day's activity in the Eastern Division. Like I said, we're going to move to the Europe Division. So I've actually got the pairings for the first round, which is happening directly after us. And you've got another couple of great commentators there. I think Lawrence Trent and Jennifer Shahadi, is that right? Doing the commentary.
Yes, they will be commentating very shortly. So don't go anywhere, because they will be here. And also, don't forget that you can have your own team. So there's a fantasy chess competition for Chess.com prizes, big prizes. All you need to do is go to the announcement. It's on Chess.com at the news, how to form your fantasy chess team. Fill in your team. You should take into account the rating cap. Of course, you cannot pick the strongest players from each team. You need to take into account the rating cap. Oh, that's me. Nice cropping.
I've got a bit of green behind me there. I'm going to get rid of that. My green's gone.
Definitely play the fantasy chess. It's there on Chess.com and also on Pro Chess League. Check the announcement and click on the link where you need to fill out your dream team. Then you can see how they are doing. Greg, how is your team doing?
Yeah, so, and we've got just the pairings, and you can see this is what's happening after us. So, okay, I'm sorry I didn't have this set up beforehand. I wouldn't normally do it sort of as low as this, but you have to, oblige me with this small production thing, which is my own fault. But we can see there some great players playing. I just wanted to show you that, and maybe one of the stars playing is MVL, Maxime Vacher-Lagrave, and he's going to be playing next, and you can see that he's playing against the Icelandic Reykjavik Puffin. So okay, I did that on the fly, hence why production value took a dip, but you can see loads of good games.
Is it just that you put my cam on and not yours?
I just put yours on, Anna. Yeah, just did that on the fly.
Come on, Simon.
It was too much. It was too much to do both our cameras. I just couldn't do it. It was too much, Anna. Your gingerness is enough, I feel. Okay, so I mean,
let me know about the London teams, because I already summed up the other two teams. The other two matches, but I was giving you the floor with the London Tower versus Ljubljana Turtles match, and the London Lions against Stockholm Snowballs. What do you think about those matches?
Well, okay, in the top match we can see here, it's actually a very underrated team. You've got Amit Ghazi, who's a very strong blitz player, and these IMs, they're quite low rated, but they're very dangerous. My good friend Blair Connell is playing. I mean, they're big underdogs in this match, but I think you see their average rating is 2-3-7-4, but they can pull off some shock there. The other London team, if we go down, you can see you've got Justin Tan, Ravi Harrier, a very young team there with the French player Romain Edouard leading the charge. On paper, they're going to have a much better chance, but it's going to be great. And I think we'll just have to leave that to Lawrence and Jennifer Shahadi to take us through that one. Now, another thing I would like to show, and we've just started off this year's basically commentary. We're lucky enough to be the first commentators, me and Anna, but Chess.com did prepare a highlights of last year's, which I really enjoyed watching. It's only a minute and a half long, so I think I'll just show that now, Anna, of some of the highlights of last year. I think
that's a great idea, and I'm afraid that I will be featured in it, but I hope not too much.
I think both of us have an appearance there, Anna, so we can have a little look, and I'm just going to put that on now. So this is a great video of the highlights of last year, and already I think we can start thinking about the highlights of that first match. For me, it was Magnus Carlsen's brilliant piece sack victory there. It was a really good game. That was probably the best game.
Yeah, I remember that was really nice. Yeah. And he also blundered his queen in another game.
Yes. He did blunder his queen. Magnus,
but wasn't spotted by the opponent. It's when you believe in your opponent too much.
That's right. He's still fallible. He's Magnus Carlsen, but he's still a human. He's not Alpha Zero yet. So okay, yeah. But let's show this teaser now. And this is a little teaser, well worth watching. And this is from the highlights of last year. And now here comes Freddy.
What? Wait, but we have a turn of events, so every time I move, I miss a blunder. No!
Yeah.
He's got 23 seconds. This will be the biggest upset.
Oh.
Ooh, bishop g6.
Wow.
What is... Aha. Nice. I like that. That is nice.
Wow. He's gonna beat Magnus. The world #1 is going down.
Oh, bishop c5, spy nice. Suddenly something happening.
Oh my gosh, what is that move? Right as I call boring, it's like the universe just always wants to smack me in the face.
What happened there? How? What is going on?
Wesley So is he is on fire right now.
Taking the score 2-9-9-5 for Norway, wrapping things up.
They're through.
Well, the chess bros have gotten through.
Stockholm will go through.
Magnus has done it. He's done it for the team. And Magnus again has been one of the leading figures in Norway, winning and going through. So there we go, very dramatic video there, and it's nice to have a bit of drama, in the chess world. So that was it was a good video, Anna. That one, isn't it? It's a great video.
I loved it, and you were there, of course, with Fiona, and I think I was featured with Lawrence and Danny.
That's right.
So last year we had a little bit of a different team compositions for the commentary, but we all will be here. So don't worry if you are missing some of us or you think that this is permanent. I hope that you liked us. I think Team Ginger is cool, but if you did not, well, sometimes we will be paired with other commentators too, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm going to have to leave you for a little bit, Anna, because I'm over in Gibraltar. I'm commentating over there, but which will be a real shame. But I had a lot of fun commentating with you. And
yeah, the same, Simon, and everyone on Twitch and Chess.com. This is your chance to ask your questions in case you want to tell us something, because finally we can look at the chat. Hello, chat.
We can.
I was looking at it during the show, but not as much as right now. So I'm staring at it.
That's right.
Where you see.
Yeah. I like the way you come really well prepared, Anna. I like this. You know, there's me trying to create scenes off the fly, like a headless ginger chicken.
I don't have another screen, a computer screen, so I'm using a tablet and the screen of the computer, trying to see everything I can at the same time.
And we've heard that the next commentary team is very nearly ready, so we will be coming live with them soon. But again, just to remind you of some other things, the prizes, and this is pretty cool, the prizes that everyone is playing for. First prize for the team is 20,000. Do you think it will be split fairly, that amount, Anna, between the players in each team? Because I heard last year, Anna, there was some rows in the teams between potential split of prize money. You know, I heard
Tell us, Simon, what do you know?
Oh, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can dish the dirt. I don't know if I can dish the dirt, but I heard there was potentially some in-house fighting going on there with the prize fund. But it's a good prize fund. That's really decent money. And again, thanks to Chess.com for making this possible. And, you know, best move, I think, so far has been Magnus's knight takes f6. I don't know if I can...
Yeah, that was really nice.
If I can find that game, I'd love to show it. But I don't know if it's easy to find. You can...
You can go to the archive. So anyone who wants to see, like, previous games, you can simply just go to live chess, where you were following the games, and then there's a tab in the bottom right corner that says archive, and you search for the user that you want to find. So in this case, Magnus Carlsen. You just type Magnus and you will have his games.
Brilliant. Well, Anna, I have heard some very exciting news. It's a bit sad because I've got to leave the Ginger Dream Team, and I've had so much fun. So I'll shed a little ginger tear there, a little ginger tear, only a little one. But we've heard that the next commentators are ready and the action is going to keep coming at you. So thank you so much, Anna. It's been an absolute pleasure. And also I'd love to thank absolutely everyone in the Twitch chat and on Chess.com chat. And I'll leave the final words to you, Anna. So.
Oh no, Simon.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. So okay.
No, I want to thank everyone as well, of course, on Chess.com and on Twitch for tuning in. And as I already told you, today is the Pro Chess League, and you should be following it the whole day. So if you can, just stay at home, watch the games, or if you are at work and just can open it in a different window. I'm sorry for your boss, but today is the Pro Chess League, so this is what you should be doing.
Exactly. And sorry to the bosses who are going to miss loads of people. But hey ho, thank you so much. And like I say, goodbye for now, but stay tuned because straight away the next commentators are up and it's going to be great. So thank you so much and goodbye again. How many times can I say goodbye? I've said it enough already. Time to go. It's time to go.
The rest of the show, and we will see you guys next week.